them. You've got Woot, who's close by. The ult online for Patty.
Oh, Woot wants to smoke.
He's gonna get it. He got it. It was a cool setup. I mean, there was a flash over the top for him to take a quick peek and get out. Wow, but a great shot from Luke as well.
And an upgrade for Luke.
Spam not connecting, but damage has been dealt. Warning shots delivered. Numbers the way of the attack. A 5v3 here, but Patty with ult online. You imagine they invested. It's early in the half. Why not?
Oh, maybe not anymore.
Yeah, that might have been what decided it right there.
This has been a good round so far for DRG. I mean,
and honestly, in an unexpected way. This isn't.
Wait a second.
Oh no, it's getting messy.
Are they gonna go for this?
If you're gonna pop it, you gotta do it soon. 2v3.
Info gathered.
All three of them tagged, but Patty just gets dropped by two of them on the face. Benji in a 1v3 will not be able to convert the MasterCard Thrifty for DRG to get on the board.
Nice. And Woot, I mean, he's been going really aggressive in all these rounds so far, and I don't blame him. He wants to get the feel of things. You know, he hasn't played Duelist other than like Reyna in such a long time. And this is kind of like new territory for him. So he's really pushing the limits early on.
That's
why not do it?
Bro.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot from Luke.
But yeah, you're right. Set the pace.
Yeah. Why not see what you can get away with early on? Yeah, it was an eco round and you lost it, but you know what? I mean, the last 3 rounds were so convincing. You want to see what you can actually truly get away with.
And I think on the other side of the coin, it's important for DRG to get on the board, but to get on the board with that round, right? Yeah. Like, that's a round that you're not expected to win.
Exactly.
That just does so much for confidence and momentum early on.
Another full commit here onto the A side of the map. Woot with it up. Misses his first shot.
Might be better with Marshall.
So far, you're right.
Remember, Patty still has that ult, and he's here now.
Oh, Woot is so aggressive here. What a shot. Onto Nick. Another one.
Delivering under the pressure. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the third. But Patty takes the one who drops Luke.
Oh, man. Woot right now is looking so good. But Vukashu has an answer back.
He's able to get both. Vukashu, he's going to have to 4K to win the round with Boo on the other side. 7 bullets to his name. Both players healthy. Armor aplenty. Spike out of reach, though. And time just to cause misdirection, just to introduce doubt. Where in the world could he be? Vukashu certainly not trying to conceal it! And he snaps onto Boo!
What a round for the Russian! What a beast! That was beautiful, bringing it back for his team. And that discipline from Heretics lacking a little bit in this moment. The last 2 rounds, not as clean as the previous 3. And what shots! Whew. That was clean.
I think if there was one big takeaway from that player, from Vukashu, as I was prepping for this tournament, is he might have some silly buys at time, but the dude can shoot.
Oh!
Well, it seems like Woot might be able to do a bit of the same.
Yeah, speaking of shooting, as you said. This is something new for DRG, though. They did another A default, but now they actually have a lurk. TZH hasn't really been playing on this side of the map. DRG in general have been doing 5-man approaches in all these rounds, so I think Heretics might read into that a little bit, but on the opposite side, we do have Boo here, who is just maintaining this control, trying to jump spot, and he will get the info.
As soon as he sees that, the orbs go up. The thing is, they're making plenty of noise on both sides. The drone's out towards A, and that should be enough to confirm that's where the hit is headed.
All right, this kid is unreal. He didn't even see him.
Woot stepping up in a massive way for Heretics this round. And the truth is, he was massive for him in the previous round, too. The 2-3 kills he got with the op.
Yeah.
He did his job. He got his.
With that being said, Rians will close out the round, and honestly, Woot right now is playing some of the most aggressive Jet on defense I have seen on Icebox in a very long time. I mean, there's so much utility being thrown at him there, and just to have the poise to be able to do what he just did, that was cold.
Well, and I think where he did it too. When you think about just taking early space on defense, you get up to 410, and that's really about as far as you want to venture.
Yeah.
Maybe a peek into from hell right in towards main, but for him to go all the way past 410, to go past the gap, to get into jail and then fight there is just crazy.
And it wasn't like it was like a clean crosshair placement shot. It was
No,
a
it was
very
a flick.
It was such an awkward angle.
Yep.
Like that easily could have gone the other way, but everybody knows that this kid has so much mechanical talent. He's ridiculous. And that will promptly cause a timeout from the side of DRG. But they have so many ults available right now. I mean, both teams right now. I know the viewers out there can't really see it, but both teams right now are nearing 5 ults apiece, honestly. And Pad Attack right now is also having such a good map so far on this A side of the map. Doing such a good job of filling the role. I mean, many different roles, right? It's insane.
His second dance with the squad. 7 and 4 so far. He's been holding on to that ult for a couple of rounds now. He had it, what, round 3?
Yeah.
Something like that. Still holding on to it, waiting for the right moment. But as you were mentioning, there are ults aplenty on the side of DRG. 4 of them, you imagine Luca's gonna pop blades here.
I can't use that.
Waits the knife out first. This timing window is interesting. It's gonna stall things out for just a moment. Yeah, now Blade's online. But remember, Patty's ult here cancels that.
Yeah, he can deny so much. And the question is, are they gonna save their ults for the retake, or are they gonna try to match them and flood in? And it looks like they're kind of positioned to do either or.
Yeah. Or perhaps even a stagger. I think as soon as they're convinced that that's where they hit his head, and Patty can pop his ult. But he's still waiting. Shion's the first to fall. There's the ult. But Luke still manages to upgrade, get a weapon, ultimately dies anyway. And they're not fully convinced. They're not confident in the safety that they have. They're gonna have to give up the space.
Yeah, and now,
I cannot use that.
on the opposite side of the map, Woot is gonna get all the info that there's no one B.
And the knife just tagged 3 of them.
Yeah, they're just about to be in close. That's why you see Woot just knife out right now on that flank.
Well, he knows it's safe.
Yeah.
Dash proc now understanding there's likely somebody headed back, and he's right.
30 seconds left.
Fukashu on the prowl to see if he can catch the rotate.
I mean, Heretics don't even need to move right now because Woot can just play this B area very passive. All the Killjoy utility is still up, holding that entire side of mid.
Just the fact that he showed presence and cleared turret was enough for Fukashu to head back, and now with 13 seconds left, they're still trying to make their way past 410. Heretics just did such a good job of delaying that round the entire time. They staggered with Patty's ult, waited for a little while, then used Benji's ult, and that was enough to essentially win the round.
And on the opposite side for DRG, I understand what they were trying to accomplish. They wanted to walk into the space, try to catch a kill off guard.
Right.
But Heretics are waiting for that moment. They're dialed in on their crosshairs for that to happen. So I honestly would have liked to see DRG maybe use that harbor out to bait out that KO early and then just have a stalemate.
Sure.
Because the ult economy is in their favor. They could have just kept cycling the ults until they had full advantage. And another 4-1 default towards the A side of the map for DRG, and it hasn't really had a lot of success. Padatek has been such a good anchor on this side of the map so far.
Takes a little damage, stays alive though. Meanwhile, as all of that is going on, Heretics aggressively take space B.
Look at Wu.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's a free kill.
Poison's gone.
It does not get any freer than that.
This kid is so confident right now.
What can Patty do here? He's in a really difficult spot, 35 HP, but he manages to find safe passage, not able to land the shots. But Rian shows up and saves the day. Shion 7 managing to get the spike down,
Player standing.
but there's just not enough in this fight. There's not enough here for DRG.
Yeah, I mean, they're running into a blender every time they go towards this A side of the map. They haven't really tested the waters at B enough yet. So maybe they need to change up the game plan. Do something more on that B side. Not let Heretics have full info on that lane.
Right, exactly. They've been able to do so for free these last couple of rounds, and that just suffocates their attempt at A. Right? When you don't have a second layer to get to a plan B in case things go sideways, you're just kind of funneled into death, and that's why Heretics seem to be having fun with this.
I mean, they have literally had 4 players on the A side of the map for the last, I don't know, 8 rounds.
It does not look like the approach is changing for the attacking side.
Still a lot of ults online for the side of DRG though, which is promising.
And they keep getting tagged by the same dart.
Yeah. Maybe some nerves on the side of DRG.
They looked really good when Bukashu popped off and hit that 3K or 4K, but since then, they've looked real slow. Hunter's Fury.
Almost connects. Not quite yet. But that will give them the sight, though. So they will get bombed down.
You should run.
They still have the turret controlling the flank, but Benji Fishy looks like he's going to be the one to try to find him. Meanwhile, Xion 7 will fall at the hands of Rians. They're able to wait this out, and then they're going to flood. They don't really have any ult on the defensive side to help with this flood attempt. DRG wisely having to account for the fact that the flank that's been coming in through spawn has caused them so many problems that they've got to play back. Heretics a step ahead of it, though, decide that they all want to flood in through defender spawn. Trying to find some space out on the site. Rians falls, but Bukashu's so weak.
They're sticking it.
Nick, not better off.
Standing.
Woot's gonna get it. There's no way he finds a way in.
Another really clean retake from Heretics. And yeah, that Killjoy ult goes down from Bukashu. But it doesn't matter because Rian's got a kill onto Xion there with the Hunter's Fury. And then they just play the numbers game at that point and get the trades. Why not stick the bomb? What a great Sova ult there from Rians. And the follow-up as well.
And I really do think they were able to find so much space on main because DRG was concerned about the
Yeah,
flank.
Benji did a great job there.
Right, exactly. So they're concerned about the flank. They send 2, maybe even 3 back towards main, and that gives them enough space to be able to stick the defuse.
And now finally, we see another BD ball, but it all falls apart.
Before it even started.
They're dropping like flies left and right now. I mean, Woot has been crazy ever since that second round.
Meanwhile, Rians hit a dart back A while all of that happened, didn't tag anybody, so they can lean a bit further towards B.
Oh,
One enemy remaining.
Dre, this is a slaughter.
nah. Slaughter might be, I don't know, not exactly the right word for this. This is getting out of hand really fast. And this is a map that DRG is this year 4-1 on.
It's their best map.
And they've
man.
looked great on it, honestly, in their region. But Heretics, it just seems like they just keep getting a new honeymoon phase every single time they have to swap a player out.
That's their buff.
3 players, almost 4, sitting at 10 apiece. Everyone is firing at full effect. That's a good entry for Luke. This might be a good start for DRG.
He's got to be the spark for this team.
Yeah.
They've got the Reckoning, and they've got enough of B to at least feel confident and lean towards it. So Code to provide some cover, but it's instantly spammed out. They're not able to get the spike down.
All of Heretics are already here to fight this as well. So yeah, they cannot get that spike down. They need to play aggressive here, and that's why you see the aggressive harbor ult.
Luke continuing to push the pace. Benji will fall, and so do the rest of Heretics.
Spike planted.
They managed to brute force their way into this. A snap from Boot is clean.
This guy is robotic.
He still has way too much to do here. TZH, 5 HP. Xion 7, not much better off, but he has no idea where they are. Never mind, that looked like he knew.
He definitely did know.
Yeah.
Oh, Woot right now is just, I know they lost that round, and DRG actually did a really great job of, you know, not dying there, not dying to the spam or mollies or anything there, and just freezing the round and then committing backside with a harbor ult. But right now, I gotta say, Woot just looks like he's just, even his crosshair placement is just
Yeah,
perfect.
he looks super comfortable right now.
And he has money to buy an op, but Patatek is actually the one on it, so I think we're gonna see another aggressive push here on the B side of the map. Maybe trying to punish TZH.
It's the last round of the half, and DRG are back to their A ways. There's no misdirection. There's no conditioning. They're just going to try to brute force their way onto A, much like they did on B, in the previous round.
And they just have all this free real estate. They're closing in on DRG at the moment. Turret is broken.
The wall's creeping closer and closer. Suffocating out.
Spike planted.
They're not ready for Boo here.
No,
not
they're
ready
not.
for the second.
And this has been the approach the entire time. Vukashu's able to clear him though. 3v3, Pit still in play. Oh, he's
way.
right next to him. TZH able to drop him.
Enemy remaining.
Benji Fishy's gonna have to do it on his own. He can't. He can't. A massive round for DRG to keep it competitive at the end of the half.
Yeah. And they needed those last 2 rounds if they want any
Desperately.
chance to get back into things. And they look a lot more warmed up now than they did in the beginning of the match, which is good. These are all good signs for DRG. But, I mean, 8 rounds on the defensive side. That might just be too much of an ask for DRG to bring this one back.
Yeah, that very well may be too much to overcome. I think you're right. DRG look like they're warming up. We'll see if that's enough to carry him into a competitive second half. We're going to throw it down to the desk to break down, see what they think about what we just saw.
Thank you so much, Doug and Dre. Appreciate it. I mean, look, I agree with Baby Bay. I'm a wooter. Okay, I'm a wooter now. All right, I'm a big fan of this kid.
You're talking to the original wooter.
Yeah, you are the original wooter. I'm not with you.
Did I
on the
not
wooter.
sell you well? Did I not sell you well enough?
You told me, and I didn't listen, and I'm such a fool.
I've
for
been in
that.
this position many times.
But here's the thing, though. Woot was impressive, but also so was Vukashu as well. Takes us to our HyperX reflex moment, which, again, we talked about what this guy was bringing to the table. So, Pay, I'm just going to let you go ahead because, Team Spain, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Go nuts. Pop off.
Of course. No, but it's crazy to see that he can still do what he was doing regionally and have this kind of crazy plays when he's playing in the big stage. I believe also that this round, I felt that it was going to give them a little boost, right? He goes in, he gets the 4K. Even in the last kill, this beautiful vertical grabs the spike and gets the kill. It's just a little bit of a showing of what Vukashu can do. Of course, the crowd goes crazy. Honestly, the fact that they were even able to finish off that half 4-8 is very surprising to me.
Yeah, it was a great recovery from
Yeah.
DRG. I think also Luke stepping up, having a couple impactful moments, but we kind of have to note it was really relying on the hero plays for DRG
sure.
to get that stuff over the line. I think we saw some of those things that needed work, right? Players separating off on their own. Team Heretics, I think, did a good job in the majority of these rounds of actually punishing some of those Vukashu lurks too.
Yeah, and Benji Fishy on the other side, right? The other Sentinel, regionally, he has been an absolute beast.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see how this half plays out as we send it back over to the casters.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think the second half will tell the story of this map. And I think it's going to be really difficult. Dre, you mentioned it at the end of that first half. 8 on the defensive side for Heretics is pretty impressive, and it might be too much for DRG to overcome.
And even right now, it's a B-side default, but they're feinting the A with a KO knife. Luke is going to check this. I know we're not watching it because TZH is getting first contact here, but this should give the info for DRG that it is a B hit. But TZH, the anchor of B site, just gets dropped, and that'll promptly allow the bomb to go down. You don't have to worry about a Viper molly or that orb to delay.
Spike planted.
It's a little bit more of a 1-for-1, courtesy of Vukashu, but numbers still the way of the attack. The spike planted as well. She on 7, Nick and Luke forced to try to figure out this puzzle that's been put before them. Desperate need to find success on this pistol, because if this doesn't go their way, this map very well maybe wraps. Luke looking to find the timing, and both of them crumble, leaving Nick all on his own. And they have a really good idea of where he is. The spam coming through the wall, the shot darts, everything proving to be too much.
And nothing special here from Heretics, just doing a B-side default, getting contact. Yeah, they feinted the KO dagger from Patatek, but not reinventing the wheel, just doing standard default on the pistol round.
Yeah, and I
This
think
entry was clean.
I think part of what you mentioned was TZH being the anchor was playing really far up. To be the only one there trying to contain, to be the one who's supposed to be trying to keep back with the utility that we talked about. You don't have to worry about the orb. You don't have to worry about spits. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. They were just able to punish that so easily at the very beginning, and it made the round almost free for them.
Yeah.
Woot hit a filthy shot in the first half that almost looked reminiscent, almost giving a little bit of deja vu. But it looks like they're pushing into the teeth of this defense. 4 members of DRG here, including Vukashu, who does have a Marshal.
And Heretics right now, there's no need to do anything. Just wait for the utility to drop, and then we could contact in or maybe use some utility to clear out some corners and everything like that. but see what Wu can cook up.
They still have plenty of time on
Yeah, and he hasn't connected yet, but I have a good feeling that he might shortly here. Just creeping forward, taking every little angle that he can. Methodically clearing stuff out, and what a shot!
this. There it is.
Here.
There's the deja vu.
An answer back for Luke, though.
Yeah, under just so much pressure, man. The spam, the utility.
And all that opens up this lurk from Benji, who allows his team to come back now.
And honestly, this is what we failed to see from DRG
30
in the first
seconds
half.
Yeah, they only had a lurk about 1 round.
Placing alarm bot.
And so Heretics really playing the map to its full advantage. They get the pick A. They still don't like what they're seeing. They decide to flip the map, and now they're ahead of the rotations. Benji Fishy not overcommitting to the fight. Takes a little damage, but takes a step back. This is really clean Valorant out from Heretics.
Yeah, he's playing so good right now. I mean, the entire team, just like you said, they are playing very clean Valorant. Disciplined Valorant.
Yeah, they're not forcing anything. They aren't taking unnecessary risks or anything like that.
Playing as a cohesive unit right now. This is why they were the number 2 seed for EMEA. Benji will have a molly for the tap to just drain that clock timer down, and DRG right now just want to get as many guns out as they can, but it's all for nothing.
I respect Benji. They're trying to go get a little something extra. He had nothing
Yeah.
for Sheriff, right? No, nothing to lose there. But Heretics will get to 10. And we talked about how the pistol almost felt like must win.
Yeah.
This round is must win. I think if Heretics put together another bonus round, and you see it on the timeline, fortunately the 4th round went their way because it could have gotten out of hand, and it did just a little bit later on.
And this round might be actually really hard for DRG to win because Benji in that round found where all of Vukashu's KJ utility was set up because he dropped early in the round. So he could open up another lurk in this mid area of the map and really outplay DRG if the massive Heretics decide to pressure, an A or a B. And the buy also for the side of Heretics it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really strong.
And look, just as I said that, this is why you see him already going in tube again. He knows what the setup was from the previous round.
I like Vukashu's position here, though. He's playing on the other side of the box, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah, and now the map is open completely for the attackers to do whatever they want.
And in case it wasn't before, that's going to open things up. Yeah, just a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's such a clean exec. The dart over the top of the jet flash. He
Oh, wait,
actually
the gap.
can do it, but Nick slips behind enemy lines. Just when it seemed like it was going to be effortless, a little drama is introduced into the round, and it's far from done.
The timing.
It's a must-win round. They've got to pull it off, and it seems like DRG very well just may. Off the back of a 4K from the Sova.
I mean, he threaded the needle on that timing right there. He finessed around the backside of A so well. And yeah, it was a heroic play, but I mean, sometimes you need that to bring you back into things. No one was watching that angle at all. And then winning the 1v1 to his counterpart. Beautiful. Nice round from Nick. It will be a B-side default now for Heretics. And Benji still wants all of that mid control early on, but this time a new turret for DRG.
A little bit further back. I do love the default that DRG are hitting at the very beginning of every round on A between the Sova dart and the harbor wall. Back A, that's really cool stuff. They just haven't been able to do a ton else off of that.
What a flash.
What a dash. Where's the swing? And there it is. Luke getting the best of Wu, though, who's been so stellar for Heretics up until this point. Nick continuing to tee off. They can pivot off of this, though. This is some of the benefits of what Benji's been able to do across the middle of the map. It provides a second layer, it provides options.
The thing is, he will be running into this Killjoy setup. Oh!
Not gonna matter if he's dead.
What a 1v1 from Benji. I mean, I thought he was dead to rights right there.
Alarm bot out.
How did he win that?
It was messy.
And now, just like that, it's a 3-on-3.
36 HP for the Sentinel.
A missed shock dart right there. Yeah.
Yep, that was supposed to bounce.
Ah, turret down.
Patatek does have to be worried about that flank now.
And he is. You see him playing so far back. He does have a molly too, so he can play back here and then drop a molly.
Look at the double up
There's a
right
tap.
here, though.
They're all so close by. Nick has to deliver again. I know he's been called on many times, but... Oh, it's CCH who's going to be the one to swing. But Rians is ahead of it. The spam through the wall. Xion 7 with so much to do. 7 bullets. Attention divided. And the crosshair cannot hit both. Heretics get to 11.
And I mean, what was that from Rians?
What do you say, Drone?
The dart comes through. He knows that he can't break it, so he's just spamming.
Yeah.
Going for broke. Yeah, he doesn't know. A little bit of RNG, but it works out in his favor. Why not? That was such a nice entry from Luke.
What's going on here?
Oh, he saw the barrel of TZH. That's how he got the kill. That's so unfortunate for the likes of DRG. Had that not happened, that's a free kill for them.
maybe
the retake
two.
is retake is successful.
Because there was that double up that you mentioned. It could have easily gone the other way.
Oh man, heartbreaking.
This time they're choosing to push into the harbor setup that we were talking about in the previous round, while DRG heavy lean into mid. The turret on the clear and Benji realizing there's a lot of pressure headed that way. Looks safe to swing, but the challenger's been taken back. Xion 7 will fall. Boo has his pit too.
Yeah, you have to imagine that he might invest it into this round, but I mean, maybe he just doesn't want to, doesn't need to, understands that DRG are on bad guns, and Patatek is just fighting this backside of A alone. Why not?
And when everything is going well for you, like it has for Heretics, you're absolutely right. Why not?
He's so good. He's so good, Doug.
Heretics have outclassed DRG every step of the way.
On their best map.
The couple of rounds that they've won have been heroics.
Yeah.
Right? Think about Vukashu's crazy 3K in the first half. That really kind of got something going. It's been...
And then Luke following it up with a crazy
exactly.
4K. Yeah.
It's been tough sledding for DRG, man.
I mean, you look at the scores right now for the side of Heretics, and you can literally see it's so evenly matched for every single player. They're all shooting straight. And this is it. I mean, this is DRG's last hope into this round. They all have light armor. A lot of ults online for Heretics. They have Killjoy ult online. Benji is 2 off of his Killjoy. I meant Patatek has KO ult online. And Boo, he didn't opt to invest that Viper's Pit in that last round to have it for this one. So they can really just flood any site, B or A, with that KO ult and just get Viper's Pit down.
And honestly, even if they don't, they have such a long runway.
Yeah.
To play off of. You can afford to drop a couple of rounds. You can afford to get silly. Not that I imagine that's what they're going to want to do, but they have a really cozy pad that they're sitting on right now.
I mean, if you look at them, they're definitely flying high right now. It will be a B-side default for Heretics. And a mid-lurk orb as well. Threatening that lurk for Veggie Fishy late in the round, potentially.
He's just found so much success there so far.
Oh, and look at this. The conditioning that Heretics has done when they throw that KO flash on the B area of the map. They understand that DRG have taken the bait and rotated off of A a lot of rounds. And that's why you see them kind of cut noise here and kind of decide, oh, should we go back towards A? And I have a feeling if Boo finds something or maybe peeks and gets a cue that he wants to call his team back, they will just commit here fully.
I know we've talked a lot about Heretics this map.
Yeah.
But the flash that you just mentioned at the beginning of the round, that one flash and then the orb mid did so much to force rotations out of DRG. The success that they're finding at the beginning of this round off of what they've been building the last who knows how many rounds. It's a cardinal sin to do math on broadcast. You just don't bother, and I'm not going to try. is just so comfortable for them right now. My concern, though, is that they may have missed the timing window. They delayed just a little bit, and now DRG have been able to rotate back and stack onto this site. With Shion 7 playing back, you're able to get 2, but it all falls onto TZH to keep this map alive, and he's going to be late to the party.
And the res comes out as well. Not only that, but the Killjoy lockdown. Why not?
You should run.
There it is.
There's only one spot that TZH can play right now.
Toxins going up.
And a drone still? I mean, so much utility for Heretics. Oh, poor TZH.
Attackers.
That'll be the first map for Team Heretics.
And
So convincing.
It felt like one of the more effortless maps of Valorant that we've seen in a long time. It unfortunately just felt like Heretics outclassed DRG every step of the way. Maybe map 2 has something to deliver, maybe a different story to be told on Sunset. We'll see if that's the case on the other side. We'll be right back.
They can't do anything. Man, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! There is nothing they can do. Oh my god, you guys see me? Concussion. Movement there. The guy's like, pick off it. Pew, pew, pew.
I made it to my happy place. Got the sun in my eyes and a smile on my face. Yeah. I made it to my happy place. It ain't rained in a while. Woke up early today. I feel good.
coach, Neil Zenio. Now, Neil, we knew that Vu was going to be on Duelist coming into this tournament, but I did not expect him to pick up that op and be so oppressive as well. So was that part of the game plan for you guys as well? How long have you had to implement that aspect of your game?
Yeah, so I think we had the chance to scrim one map every time, so about one scrim. I'm not gonna lie. So when coming into this, like we always had issues with him coming with a visa, so we haven't really had that much time to practice, only 2 days. So we kind of just had a discussion, and we know he's really good with an op. He plays it on chamber quite a lot. And when it came to duos, he's just been begging to play like double duos comps all the time. So yeah, when it came to the op, we kind of just said like, if you want to op, feel free. Like we're used to setting up mini booth op on that map, so Patty and Innes do like a really good job of setting up. So it wasn't a big change for us, to be honest. So we were chilling.
Well, he can really do it all. Best of luck on map 2.
Couldn't agree more with that one, Yinsu. Vu definitely was impressive in that duelist role, and that led Team Heretics to be able to pick up that dub. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy here along with Mimi and Kukuka. I think it just goes... It's not a shocker that Heretics, found the success that they got here, because honestly, they're coming into this one, boots white hot right now, and you could definitely tell the DRG really trying to figure out how to maneuver the map in a way that benefits them, and Team Heretics having their field day.
You say it's not a surprise, but there was a big question to be answered of how well would the synergy be for Team Heretics? How well would they be able to
synergy be? Sorry.
That's terrible.
It is actually terrible. I don't stand by it.
I'm glad you would sing that.
I found it hilarious.
You're not the arbiter of comedy.
Yeah.
I am. It's me.
You are.
It's me. But Woot was excellent. He fit in super well. By the way, playing 4-3 in Valorant is so rare.
For an 18-year-old.
4-3?
Yes. Look at
18-year-old.
this. Look at the screen.
He's just cracked. That is the code.
In other games, I feel like it actually gives you like some advantage, but I don't think it does in Valorant. I guess it's just habit.
Yeah, it could be. I mean,
for an 18-year-old.
That's pretty funny.
Back in the day when he was 4 playing on CRTs.
Anyway, it made a lot of sense for him to be playing on the duelist, right? Some people were asking, like, what is he going to be doing, or why more so? Maybe moving back and implementing the system that they had before Wood was the way to go for this event, right? Just put Patty Tech back into what he was playing before, so you don't have to train him from zero, or even have to find answers to questions that are too difficult to answer in such a short time. And Wood is literally the perfect response to all of it, really just because the kid's crisp. That's
he's so good, and also Patatek, he has to have a lot of credit given to him. He is the absolute super sub. He comes back in despite not officially being a main player on this roster. He's made it to both global events of the year, which is crazy, and he's looked great in both of them. His supportive utility is super consistently on point. He did a great job of setting Voot up.
And it was the same thing that he was doing in Madrid when he was also playing in EMEA Stage 1. Like, honestly, he has the best karma in the world because, again, starting in a team as a sub and making both international events and being so nice, we love you.
I'm telling you, you should play the lotto. It might work out for him. All right, well, let's go ahead and hear what the coach of DRG has to say as we get ready for map 2.
I'm now joined by DRG's coach Yu Chen ahead of map 2, and here with Luna as well to do some translation. Now, the sunset pick coming up today, I feel like every team, they prepare for it because Heretics, they love this map, they always want to pick it. So what is your plan coming into this?
那其实日落之城这张图，像今天 The Heretic 他们经常会选择非常喜欢这张图。那你们对于这张图都提前做了哪些部署和计划呢？
我们针对他们这张地图，我们在前一天看了大量的他们和其他队伍的比赛录像嘛，针对他们一些战术部署做了一些针对。
I think for Sunset, we have watched a lot of WOS yesterday when they faced against other teams, so we made a lot of strategy to target for that.
Oh, thank you very much, Luna. I can't wait to see a coach Yu Chen. Let's see if they can bring it back.
All right, so there's a very interesting thing that I think, needs to be mentioned here is that for teams like DRG, FPX, EDG, this is a rare circumstance where they're here, they could chill, they go home, they vibe out in their hometown, and they can take that time to watch those VODs. Whereas when you heard Nilzinho earlier talking about, they did not have that time to be able to do that. So yeah, there is an opportunity here for them to catch him off guard, but you really got to stop a white hot Voot, which is going to be really, really difficult to do.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I think that it's good, especially for a map like Sunset. It's a map where Heretics has felt super, super comfortable, but they've always been doing kind of the same thing. We're talking about how they pressure at the beginning of the round, how they re-pressure, especially in the mid-round. Like, finding the key points in the map, they're never going to be stale and defensive from the defense. Now, the question is Voot going to be the same? Is he going to feel as, I mean, he is going to feel as comfortable, but are they going to change the plan coming on to...
different.
Yeah.
I think Neon is a harder role to slot into, 1-for-1.
Oh, you'll see.
But they're not going to do it.
They're not
He
going to
picks
do it.
into the race instead, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think that is the in my opinion, the mechanically hardest agent to play in the game, even for players who have done it before. Whereas Woot, the Raze, I think it's a lot simpler to slot into that role for him.
Honestly, I think that at this point they just ask him like, hey, what do you want to do here? Do you want to go for Raze? Do you want to go for Neon?
Do my eyes deceive me?
That's a Gecko.
That's a Gecko on Dragon Ranger Gaming. They're playing the Gecko.
So we've got
What a
some
time to
teams
be
on
alive,
both
kids.
sides too. DRG coming out, and I think surprising by locking that one in. They have not been playing that agent whatsoever. This will be the first time they're playing Gecko. They're getting with the times on a Sunset comp that is great. I'm excited to see what they've prepped up.
And I also love that picture on that dude's iPad. Anyway, let's go ahead and send it over to your casters and see how this is all going to play out.
Yeah, I don't know where they got that picture of GB. That was crazy. Yeah, I think there are a couple of things to talk about in these two comps. Number one, the Gecko is a big deal. They haven't been running Gecko at all, but
Yeah.
Dre, I think there's a lot to be discussed on the other side too of going for the Raze instead of the Neon. Yes, it's a very different agent. Just, many would argue, like Mimi was saying, that Raze is easier to play than Neon from a mechanical perspective, but the timings are entirely different.
Yeah. So for the team, I'm sure Heretics is going to be fine, but the thing I really want to focus on with changing of the comp of the Neon to the Raze is DRG said that they were prepping against, Heretics and
Yeah,
et cetera,
they're
et cetera.
watching film
But
with
they're
that.
watching Neon. They're not ready for a Raze. I mean, Raze is more standard and you might have a better idea of what a Raze will do, but still, if you're prepping for a Neon, it's completely different. So maybe all that prep will go out the window potentially.
You see that flash over the top from Nick, allowing Luke to take an aggressive angle. They grab the orb here, and the Roomba will inevitably cue the fight that ensues. A 1-for-1 traded, a little space gained.
Yeah, but 1-for-1s always tend to favor the attacking side, and it just opens up the map again. And that's why you see Benji and Boo just prodding into that B site. Oh my gosh. Patatic
Spike down.
hasn't
A.
skipped a beat. Nice trades in that elbow area of the A site, and now Heretics just want to regroup and play the disciplined game that they have been playing all series long.
Yeah, they're ripe for reset here. I think the interesting thing, though, is they are almost... Yeah, this is where it gets really messy. They almost had too many options to begin with. They had spread themselves and found successes on both sides of the map. And so now the question is, where do you go? They decide to rotate back A, narrowly avoiding disaster from TZH having a timing mid.
I mean, Heretics are rotating so well right now.
30 seconds left.
A lot of spam damage done onto them, though.
Lukashu and TZH with so much left to do. The spike planted onto the site. Numbers the way of the attack.
Yeah.
Benji Fishy and Rian's both weak, though. And Bukashu creeping forward by himself.
So much to clear. The time is just ticking away. This smoke can prove to be fruitful.
Massive first kill from Bukashu. A 2v2 Rian's, remember, still weak, 49 HP. Oh, that's a big kill, though, out from Boo.
Remaining.
He gets both to get Heretics the pistol.
And Heretics in that post plant just opting to double up on the flank, wrapping around, and Boo just honestly just playing duck hunt in the back there. And yeah, it was scrappy, but I mean, he closed it out. Nice trading done from Heretics. That was the name of this round. It was just trading back and forth from the start. Shion 7 there, getting a little too overeager in the beginning with that Gecko flash running through, throwing it straight at them. Maybe he needs to throw it up in the air next time, yeah.
I like the idea. I like that they wanted to take the fight, but it just doesn't really go their way. A Spectre and 2 rifles for the side of the attack. And a cam mid too, just to make sure there's no silly business no antics that DRG are up to and pushing up mid.
Look at all this utility for the hit. Not trying to get cheesed at all is Heretics.
I must wait a moment.
And that goes back to that discipline that we were seeing on Icebox.
Oh, yeah.
Bukashu potentially overwhelmed as Nick falls. He's able to get one, Bukashu is, but ultimately meets his teammate's demise.
I mean, the spacing from Heretics is so on point right now. It feels like even if DRG get the instant headshot, it's traded right away. I mean, look, even if Boo had gone down there, it's gonna get traded right away.
They just don't really have the guns to fight back there. But you're right, the spacing of the trading has been really nice from Heretics.
And Heretics didn't need to really cook anything up there that's too special. Boo on that B side, on the A side of the map, understood that DRG took all that space, grabbed the orb, saw who DRG grabbed the orb on as well. So they just know that the Rays and the Gecko are not towards that B side of the map, and they could just bully it with the drone, with the dart back sight, all the utility. And you're gonna see another B side default here. And why not? You're going up against a Cypher, you're running a Sova, you can break all that utility. And if you break it early, it opens up the possibilities for a late hit, you know, especially if you go back and feint A.
They've been running the same idea at the beginning of the round A from DRG every single time.
Yeah.
And Boo's ahead of it here. They throw the flash over the top from Nick, and then Luke and Xion7 take the space to grab the orb to control the side of the map. That was almost messy.
And look at this aggressive trip for Benji Fishy in B main. It allows his team to go back and take map control elsewhere. They're gonna re-clear this A side on Luke.
He's in a world of hurt right now.
Yeah, and here comes the drone. He could get punished. It's a good nade though.
Yeah, but is it gonna be enough to keep himself alive? No, it just buys some time.
He went for the re-swing there? I can't help but feel like that was a blunder, and now Xion7 is forced to try to get a trade, but Heretics taking his HP down low.
You've also got Benji Fishy, who's going to be controlling the middle of the map late into the round to attempt to cut off the rotations. Paranoia comes out from elbow. Benji Fishy falls, but they're going to get the sight and they're going to get the spike down to 4v2 for the rest of the round. Nick and TZH with so much to do. Plenty of time to do it though, but they have to play their cards just right. No room for error. Paranoia creating some space. But if they're going to strike, they kind of have to do so soon. TZH getting the best of re-ends. Gets him a little bit closer to equal footing.
The problem is Nick is so far away. Oh, that's a nice opening though.
TZH going to do it on his own, is he?
Time's running low. It's all up to Patatek. He has one flash.
He's been good for the team so far, but TZH he was a monster.
Does he
but
have
it's
it?
not going to be enough. He did so much to get them there, but it was not enough.
Oh my gosh, it's heartbreaking for TCH. He completely dominated in that round, but the time was just too low.
He John Wicked his way through that entire retake by himself.
Such nice shots. I have to point out on the entry, Woot, he was full blinded by the Gecko flash, and he still got the kill back sight. That's crazy. A new look here for Heretics. All that conditioning on the B side of the map, that KO dagger, it's been the same for every single round so far, but this time they're all geared up at A already. Another nade to thwart Rian's off of the drone. But Luke has to give this space. I mean, he's sticking around for far too long.
He's got 20 HP, has to satchel out.
Standing ahead.
Satchel out.
Oh, another entry. What a nade.
I mean, this is, again, borderline perfect. They're just so precise and so exact
on
how they're taking these sights. It's a great shot out from Nick, but how much more can they do? Nick gets another. The swing out from Patty overwhelms him. And once again, numbers the way of the attack. They'd want to scale up and take this fight, which is dangerous. Remember, TZH had a massive round previously. Only one with the rifle.
He isolated the sight.
Yeah, but they've got a brutal crossfire. He has to get the one as best as he can, and he's going to get it. Can he pull it off this time? Yes, he can!
He woke up
Oh, he's been awake. He was awake in the previous round.
He's trying to bring it back for his team. Showing his team that they can do it. It's possible.
Single-handedly. Look at him almost dragging his team to a round win in the previous round and managing to do so this time.
Such a quick reaction from TZH after he gets that first kill. In that screen area, he puts the smoke down to isolate either fight that he wants to take.
Yeah.
This time he opts to go for Benji Fishy. Oh, look at the crowd. Hype for him.
They've been given a reason to be excited. They haven't had much of that.
Oh.
Luke in a different spot with an op in hand. Remember, he's been playing A.
Oh, what a dart.
And there goes the op.
And the KO flash to follow up.
They don't have to They don't have to deal with the Cypher setup. Bukashi's set up on the other side. Oh, but Nick, massive from Nick. There's reason to believe now. They seem dead on arrival, but DRG showing signs of life.
Wow. And that spacing earlier that I was praising Heretics for, and the trading, it's just kind of been lacking in these last couple of rounds. Not enough to press the panic button, for sure. But look at this. This is all 1v1s from start to finish there. And it was such a good start to the round. The utility was great.
They got rid of the op.
Yeah.
They managed to avoid the Cypher utility, you're right. It was a great start.
Even the KO flash was perfect. But the showstopper from Woot just didn't connect, and that'll ultimately force Heretics to be on, honestly, maybe the first eco I've seen them be on in this series, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, we haven't seen them in this position. It's also a different approach from DRG. I mean, yeah, they've got Luke who's hopping B again, but a little bit more invested mid. And lo and behold, it's Benji Fish who's here. Tap at the door to try to strike as it goes down, but no target given. He's gonna fill in on the space behind it though. Did he hear that cam?
Yeah, I think he has a good idea that the cam is there, and they showed on purpose. They got seen by the cam on purpose because Benji called it out for them. So that's why they're going back to B now. They're assuming that DRG is gonna rotate towards the A side of the map, but they're missing their window of opportunity like that icebox round. But what was that?
Another clean flick out from Patty.
30 seconds.
Paranoia is traded, and that Cypher ult's gonna get so much info. They've got to overwhelm, and they've managed to do so. Nick, again, an opportunity to be hero, but Woot drops him. If they're able to pull this off, all of the momentum that they had very well could be gone. Xion with so much to do, a 1v3, but it's just an op in the hands of the duelist.
Last player standing.
Will the Sheriffs fall to a whimper at the feet of Xion 7? No. A MasterCard thrifty for Heretics.
And the desk was talking about how Woot, or the coach was talking about how Woot has been known for his chamber, and he quite did so, but he's on Raze, Doug. Look at this. That's not a headhunter. That's a sheriff. He's playing chamber on Raze right now.
There's the handshake.
So cool.
Back up 2 for Heretics. A shoddy buy for DRG.
And a new look. A mid default this time, but Boo's still doing this A side default, giving presence there. Dagger will connect onto B main, not on anybody. That'll cause Benji Fishy to have to re-clear B main.
They just got out
Right here.
a flash from Nick and a paranoia from TZH mid. And Heretics are still holding on to the space.
There.
Yeah, they're just waiting for Benji Fishy to get contact here, maybe get a pick. He breaks the cam, and it's so rare to see a Cypher offing, so I don't think DRG will be ready for this.
He's not going to be given a target.
But Doug, if Heretics go back to A, like I see that they're doing right now, they might have an opportunity. They know that Luke has been playing very aggressive here.
He has an ult, but again, there's no contact.
Oh, he commits?
He's surrounded. He gets his one, but
I know exactly where.
the ult was canceled. They're still gonna find space A.
30 seconds
The
left.
paranoia out, and Boo fills the space. Getting further and further as the spike ultimately will get sunk into the soil of the site. Crash traded out. Op still in the hands of Benji Fishy. Wood finding space, finding a kill onto TZH. And now the nade to dissuade.
One enemy remaining.
It's just too clean. It's just too clean.
Oh my goodness.
And unfortunately, it feels a lot like Icebox, where it's the heroics that are getting DRG 1-2 rounds here or there. But when it just gets to simple, like Valorant, where you're just playing good against good and macro is how things are decided, Heretics are just rolling DRG.
Yeah, and Woot once more is having such a performance. He's sitting at 12 kills right now. He didn't connect with the Headhunter last time, but this time he does. And that nice little cheeky one tap on a Nick, that was beautiful. And for the side of DRG, I mean, they had man advantage into this round. But Xion 7, he kind of jumped the gun a little early there with that thrash. It didn't get immense value. It didn't get as much. Still, you have to be disciplined in those moments and play as a unit and go together. It doesn't always have to be heroics, especially when it comes to utility. You can't just send a thrash in alone and expect to win the round. There was no follow-up at all.
And maybe that's a conversation that they're having right now as DRG called their first time out of the map, an attempt to slow things down and collect themselves.
And I kind of want to see DRG like press the matter more at A. Try to challenge Boo in the 1v1. Yeah, it can be, you know, intimidating when a team is just headshotting you like this, but you got to do something. You can't just keep playing a passive line and falling back. Heretics know that you're playing that way. So maybe send a lot of players or don't use a lot of utility in the early round to act like it's a Cypher setup potentially.
Sure.
And then you might be able to catch a player off guard, at least get the trade. But when they invest this much utility into the round, I mean, Heretics they just form a game plan of how DRG is playing the map.
I will say that's a slight adjustment though. What DRG just did there, remember it's been flashes over the top. Both utility that they used there was refreshable.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get the Dizzy back, they're gonna get the knife back. Minor adjustment, but an adjustment still.
I think Luke,
he's got it.
Boo here.
Boo's been up here. He's been up here so many rounds. He drops at just the right time.
I mean,
oh, dude, he just Houdini'd his way out of that situation.
How did he know? The intuition is on point for Boo right now.
He's a knower. You're gonna push back B, no trips up here. All he has is the cam. The knife will tag, the ult will pop, and the hit will come. The paranoia out to be the first, but Nick and Bukashu hold the line. This is why the kid buys a Vandal. What a hole.
Yeah. And it's kind of what I said. Luke took that aggressive line, and yeah, he didn't get the timing on Boo, but it gave his team all the info that was going to be a B hit. And that's why they had 3 players there geared towards that hit. And then just crossfires on the actual site. Beautiful. And that dagger as well from Nick, that timing was perfect. Heretics again towards that B side of the map, jumping the gun too early. They're up man advantage. You got half your team got hit by a dagger. Just slow the round down. We don't need to commit KO right there.
Oh, they're back to their old ways. The aggression, a little bit too much. Luke has so much to find. And DRG slammed the door on the round once more. The spike is well out of reach.
Enemy remaining.
Rienz is gonna have to pull off a ridiculous play to win this one back, and he can't.
A nice first engagement from Luke onto Woot there.
I mean, he was in his lap.
Yeah.
He satcheled right into him.
And when you satchel in like that, sometimes the bullets just don't connect. There's nothing you can do about it. And the crowd is finally alive, giving energy to DRG as well. And this rocket, the timing on it was perfect. This was a great A fight.
And that's a setup that they've been doing. It finally comes to fruition, and when it comes together, it looks great.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it again. This time Luke playing on the other side. satcheling away. But the paranoia will buy some time. Rian's the only one with the rifle.
Really good damage done though. Honestly, for both teams. But we've seen Heretics already get that thrifty round previously. TZH will have something to say about that as well. He can hear all these footsteps, all this jumping around, and when this hit comes in, he should have a clear view over the top of the smoke since he's playing on top of that market box.
Oh,
beautiful.
Triple catch the first. There's the sideline over the smoke that you mentioned, but he decides to push into it. Perhaps ill-advised.
Over-eager.
Still has a rifle. Rian knows well he had it. Falls at the feet of Ukashu. The kid is teeing off now. Boo was nothing but a sheriff and position given away. If the cam wasn't enough, the ult will say it all.
And the double swing to close out the round. Nice from DRG. Making the map competitive, giving themselves a chance to potentially close this one out. In a nice setup here.
Ukashu has found so much success from that corner.
Yeah.
Then he gets that first kill at been back-to-back rounds now. And now it's going to be on Heretics to call a timeout, slow things down, and see what the adjustments have to be, because for the majority of this half, it has felt like effortless Valorant. But something happened on the other side of that timeout from DRG that has changed things. And I think it's two things that have gone on here. I think number one, DRG have made minor adjustments, but it also feels like Heretics are changing the way they've approached these last couple of rounds. You think about that heavy double satchel into elbow. You think about the way that they were hitting too early onto the hit B a couple of rounds ago. The approach has been different.
Yeah, exactly. They're jumping the gun a little bit too early on these hits. They need to just stick to using the utility, methodically clearing out everything and going for the trading, making sure the spacing is there, everything of that sort. And maybe putting a little bit more emphasis on the middle area of the map. I feel like they should have an idea that DRG is playing 3 players towards that A side most of the rounds. So maybe try to take a timing up mid early on to punish maybe the rotate when it comes back fully. Maybe get a pinch onto A. But so far towards this B side of the map, unless it was the eco rounds for DRG, I feel like Heretics hasn't had success as much on the actual gun rounds of DRG.
3 rounds in a row from the defensive side to keep it competitive, to tie us at 5.
And this is that similar approach that we saw in the beginning of the game.
Yep.
Going back to what worked.
That Shock's not going to catch the first trip, but we'll catch the other 2 with 1.
Nice. That's why Heretics runs the Sova on this map. They don't deposit Benji Fishy here at the B side this time, but they've done so many other rounds before that they're allowed to do something like this and just group up A.
Dude, Luke is so far up.
Yeah, this is good from him though. He can get first contact and get out potentially with this satchel.
He's got 1.
But this is one way he works against him.
I know exactly where.
And now Heretics are going to be able to head towards A with pace. Yeah, Wood is 1 HP, but there's nobody on the site to fight back.
Xion 7, he should fall back here and just use his thrash. He's sticking around for way too long, almost getting punished by Benji.
Still has plenty of utility to play around, has the Dizzy as well, and that's the first thing that goes up. Xion 7 on the swing with thrash will not be used. Numbers the way of the attack. Wood somehow still alive with his 1 HP. Now the Spike plan, you see the cam coming out, seeing if they can find any. Wood playing his time and striking when the moment is right. Finally falling.
Shutting them down.
But DRG with a limited amount of options. They're gonna have to frag their way through this, and that's a big hope from TZH. But Patty Tech and Rian save the round for Heretics.
Last round before the switch.
And Xion 7, again, getting dropped with that thrash. Not getting value. Had they had it on the retake once more, I'm telling you, it would have been so fruitful for them. I mean, TZH on these retakes and Nick on the retakes together have done so much for DRG. They just need that little extra piece to close out the rounds. And that could be that utility, or it could even just be a body. And I get it, he's trying to even out the numbers, you know? Try to get it even before they go for the retake, but sometimes you can win a 4v5.
Last round of the half, the Roomba already getting value. It popped in the face of Luke. He's down to 70 HP. Remember, Nick still has his ult. He's rotated back B. And of course, Heretics are rotating away.
Yeah.
I dropped the
And
spike.
Luke did show towards the B side of the map. So I think Heretics are reading into this thinking that, okay, this might be a B stack then potentially.
And even if it wasn't, there was enough noise made to draw rotations over.
And this time the drone will get value because that nade is not there. So they can actually push back DRG from elbow, from that lane area.
TZH wasn't spotted, the drone didn't go deep enough, and now he's taking an aggressive angle. It's off angle. Oh my gosh!
That's unbelievable.
Wood has been so clean. And now with the ult online, Fukashu tried finding a window, and yeah, he got his one, but the spacing is back. He's able to trade back.
Oh.
Nick can't even use his ult. And a 2v4 attempt at a retake.
And a trip too for the post plant.
Funneling them back in from spawn. A flash in their face, the second soaring through.
Everything to delay.
Luke has no choice but to just waltz his way forward. Try to face the music.
One enemy
Walk into the crossfire. Walk into the gunfire. A 1v3, but the onus is on him. He can't sit back and wait for the fight to come to him. He's got to go. A little bit of leg shown from Benji. And a kill found. But time will expire as the kills come through. A 7-5 half. The way of Heretics. It feels like a lot of opportunities left on the table there.
Yeah, it may have slipped away a little bit for Heretics, but for the side of DRG, I feel like they actually are warming up and getting more comfortable on the stage. Players are stepping up and hitting some really nice shots. I mean, the chemistry from Nick and TZH on that half was awesome. The retakes that they had was great. I mean, a way better showing than the last map.
We'll see what the desk thinks about that first half. 7-5, the way of Heretics. What do you guys think?
Honestly, I couldn't agree more. It does feel like DRG is finding themselves a little bit of a second wind here, which they're certainly going to need. Otherwise, it could have been a very quick 2-0 in favor of Heretics. But we'll see what happens in the half.
Yeah, I think we saw DRG actually winning a few rounds there, not just off the hero plays that we're seeing in the first map of this series. Team Heretics was actually getting shut down on some of those sight hits over towards B. We're calling back into these late round hits, and I think DRG had great synergy to stall them out.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to show a little bit of a round because exactly what you're saying, right? We saw some adaptation. We heard their coach talking about how they read onto things. Benji Fishy got the up here. This is something that he also did in EMEA, even from the attack, just to get that first kill. But the read from DRG is correct. Even though Luke in this position has been, you know, a bit hit or miss, the read is correct. And the way that they delay and gather the information onto what's happening next, the moment that they know that Benji Fishy has pushed onto mid, they know that he's alone. They know for a fact that he is the one creating that kind of pressure, especially if he's with the operator. And then the kills just fall through from the positions that they were able to defend this site time and time again. So yeah, the preparation is there. Now, is it going to be enough when they swap us sites?
It's going to be tough, but something they do have behind them is this crowd. They are really coming alive for this DRG squad. I think we've seen a lot of people show out already to Master Shanghai, especially to support these Chinese squads. And I mean, you've got to talk about it, right? I'm not a huge believer in like the crowd debuff of having a crowd against you being a big negative, but I do think the crowd buff is real. Getting to have that motivation, that extra energy around you, and also getting to play at home can really add to the comfort. But with Heretics up 7-5, this will be a very tough one, and Heretics in a good position to close out.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and swap these sides, see what DRG's game plan is. Can they force this map 3? We're going to send it back over to Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, Shuby. Yeah, I think the crowd may help. I think it may take a whole lot more than just that, though. It's been a competitive scoreline to close out that first half, but it really feels like Heretics were in control of the vast majority of it. Up 2 here on defense now. DRG choosing to explore the middle of the map. With a lot of presence, too. 3, 4 of them here.
And an interesting buy from Luke to invest into a Sheriff. Normally we see a lot of raises on that attacking side, you know, try to go for satchels to close the gap, especially when you're entering into sight.
Right.
Or at least, you know, a Ghost and a Roomba to clear out some corners. Just very confident in his aim right now, but it's gonna be hard. He's gonna have to invest a nade in order to break this trip, unless he goes for a wallbang on it. But he might get punished if he tries to shoot it right now.
I mean, he's got help. Surely someone's holding him while he tries to clear it. The nades go out. So does the utility. Nick's the first to fall. There's the value coming out from the Sheriff. It gets a little messy at the end there. He will fall. What a hold.
I hate visiting underground doors.
Just when it looked like they had space.
That nade from Woot just isolated everybody from the site and the main. So the fights were just not in the favor of DRG. And yeah, Luke did a really good job getting a couple kills with that Sheriff, but it's just too much to ask. Especially with how Heretics played that scenario. I mean, they fought together.
This Heretics roster just looks so good right now, man.
Yeah.
They're playing such clean Valorant. DRG with backs against the ropes here. Still a Sheriff in the hands of Luke. He mentioned that he found a little bit of success in the previous round. He got his one. As Xion7 gets us a little bit closer to having his ult online.
Yeah, the problem with buying a Sheriff in this round, though, is that there's an outlaw on the other side from Rians. So when it comes to the gun round, I mean, that's a one-shot kill.
They just sent Wingman on a solo mission.
Look at all the utility from Heretics. Shock darts, mollies, nades.
And spam. I know it's just
and this guy.
Yeah, and then there's Woot.
Go get him, little guy. Little guy won't get value this time around.
I mean, the Spike is still sitting back on the site. The two remaining members of DRG are still playing back main.
So far in this series, Heretics hasn't had to really worry about lurks at all.
No.
That's why you see them over-rotating and stacking sites anywhere that the pack of DRG shows.
That's a really good point. All the way back to Icebox.
Yep. They have no reason not to stack the sites that DRG is showing early on. They haven't been given a reason to. And going into this round, look at the armor from DRG and look at the guns from Heretics. We have an outlaw in play right now. That's a one-shot kill to the body, and you have two of those. I mean, he could post up on any angle, and if they walk into his crosshair, it's basically a free win to the round. Heretics are setting themselves up to win this bonus.
And that inevitably would be the final nail in the coffin. Again, mid-presence from the attack.
An elbow
and he
seam.
spotted, yep. There was that swing. Looking for the cam. Almost pays for it with his life. Also, there's got to be somebody holding Benji Fisher here. They're going to get crunched in. The paranoia is so good.
Down mid.
They just get rolled. The bonus seems inevitable now. Unless TZH can do something special with the classic in his face, he will fall.
He got dunked on.
Nick with a 1v3. To try to win the round, to try to avoid the financial deficit that is likely crippling. There's a drone expecting the swing up from mid, but he's looking the wrong way. Finally spots Boo, and it's a foot race. Boo will get back A. And Nick decides to re-explore mid. The door shut in his face. Options limited.
30 seconds left.
And they know. They've gotten it cornered. Oh. Woot's just waiting on the other side. That also, you know, we talked about this a little bit on Icebox, and yeah, maybe they've kind of moved away from it, but that felt like discipline as well. Not forcing, not giving them his ones, anything like that. You know, we're really cautious of how they played it out. There was an early rotate A, there was a dart to confirm that he was mid, and then as soon as he he has no other where to go except market, Woot was there waiting for him.
So well played. And I mean, that whole round was so well played from Heretics. They saw the KO dagger land in B main. They understood nobody pressured A. Where else is DRG gonna be? They're either in mid or in B main. And that's why you see the reclear utility come out in mid. And then that's all she wrote at that point. I mean, very similar to the last round. You're gonna see Heretics probably already start cheating over to this mid side of the map, leaving Boo here as an anchor, just living, trying to spot. info here.
They're just
Nice
so
AO
comfortable
flash.
giving up this space. That was a nice flash, you're right. They're just so comfortable giving up this space. But this time the Paranoid did not connect.
Spike
However,
down mid.
Benji Fishy and Woot still do.
This kid. This kid.
My goodness. Woot is just on one.
I mean, we got to get a one-tap counter at this point because this kid has done like 7 of them in this game.
They just make it look so easy. 4 on the round. The handshake is back.
It really is just another level for this Heretics roster.
Spike ortada düştü.
It's the third
it's so
kill.
clean,
This
man.
one was the most impressive. A little ADS flick.
He's so mechanically gifted. That's why he's a part of this roster. I mean, they were just waiting for him to become of age to dominate.
And that he is.
And you know what's crazy? This is EMEA's 2nd seed.
Well, people say their number 1 seed lost last night. So,
Yeah.
but you're right. I mean, this Heretic squad just looks, they look really freaking good, man. Really, really good. The honeymoon period that you mentioned earlier where they're just like, they're rotating rosters.
Right?
It's a perpetual honeymoon period. It seems like they're in it. They just seem like they can do no wrong here.
Right now, I think DRG needed to have a little bit more of a spread default. Maybe pressure that A side of the map a little bit, not just leave it completely open because so far, Boo, he really hasn't had to worry about it at all. The only time that DRG shows somewhere is when they're actually committing to the area of the map, committing to the site. There's no need to even worry about that A side of the map at all.
There's no conditioning, there's no misdirection out from the attack.
DRG needs to try to push them off of these aggro lanes that they're getting.
Yeah.
Push them off of the mains and then maybe go back towards mid. But again, no one's gonna pressure this A side of the map, and it's gonna allow Heretics to just have so much info on the round.
Here.
I mean, look, he's not even looking to see if they're even gonna run through the one-way at
Here.
this point. I mean, he doesn't even care because he knows they're not gonna do it. To be fair, Woot is posted up there with a showstopper.
Trip is cleared. And they rotate back. Or at least take a step back. The concerning thing here is the only thing they have to control other areas of the map is the cam, and that's like their safety valve right now.
Yes.
The only thing that makes them feel like they can head back.
And Doug, if their intention is to bait out that utility and think that they're going B, you don't need all 5 players in the main there. You can have a more spread default. I mean, Woot could have been all the way pushed up on this flank already.
Bomb buddy out.
Re-entering some of the pressure, a shock dart to dissuade,
They're trapped in mid.
as they have been the last couple of rounds. Paranoia from a little bit further back.
30 seconds left.
Not going to connect, and they're going to have to go back in A. And guess what? It's Woot, and it's Woot with the showstopper. But the difference from how he plays this to Luke, he takes a step back, he rotates away.
Time.
There's not much.
There's no time. This showstopper's gonna get value like crazy.
Woot holds the line.
They can't win.
10 seconds
There's gonna be
left.
no time.
They're all here. The spam, the knife.
They can't do anything. And
This is. Yeah, go on.
This is what happens when you just 5-man group up and you don't have a spread default on the map. You don't give yourself the time to rotate all the way around. You have to clear too many things because you don't have the info on the opposite side of the map.
The truth is, a lot of the problems that we saw on the attack side of Icebox from DRG are showing their ugly heads again.
Yeah.
It's the same issues.
Oh, I can't aim anymore.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Benji can't aim anymore, apparently. Or maybe he just doesn't need to.
that might be more accurate.
Oh, Woot.
Hey, Woot's doing plenty of aiming for the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Thrash will be invested, but not a lot of utility to follow up or bodies to follow up.
She on 7 tag 2, but it's not going to matter. That's a big molly out from Nick, though. Bukashu and Nick, with Spike in hand, have managed to find safe crossing.
But again, they're just enclosed onto the site.
Yeah.
If they peek this left side, they're going to get rolled.
At least they have the spike here. Well, at least they have the spike here. That might have been the only real silver lining that they had there. Heretics from beginning to end, from A to Z, dismantle and destroy DRG.
A very clinical showing. And I mean, for a team that didn't have a lot of time to prep, to practice going into this.
One scrim.
Yeah, this is a good match to have, to build confidence going into the further matches. And for DRG, I think they need to go back to the drawing board and really focus on their attack halves. That defensive side wasn't that bad. There was a lot of promising things that I saw. They just need to be more disciplined on those retakes. They had so many chances to win those had they had just done it together and not relied on just TZH and Nick. Perhaps a lot of nerves, you know, first international, playing against these teams and etc. But Heretics looking so good and really not having to show their whole hand early on in this tournament.
No, not at all.
I mean, Woot, I think in the series had 17 first bloods. He had 7 on the previous map and 10 on this map. He's a freak, man. Can you believe he's a flex player?
No, there's just no way. There's just no way.
And who's supporting him? Padded Tech. Beautiful flashes. Great mechanical talent for himself as well.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway here is Heretics look really good. Yeah, they had 1 scrim. I don't think it really mattered.
Yeah.
They didn't have to show very much at all. I think they were very decisive. Their spacing was really nice. Their trading was on point. They did all of the little things well. And the truth is, they did the big things well as well. They executed from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And they just kind of ran circles around DRG.
And they let it slip away a little bit on that attacking side, but what I liked was that they honed it back and closed out that half.
Yeah.
That's what was so impressive to me, because it's so easy when you're rolling a team to just like play really loose and all of a sudden a comeback happens. Sure. But if you do that to the wrong teams, it could be a very bad thing. So I'm glad I'm glad the timeout happened and they brought it back.
The Verizon post-match interview on the stage right now with Ben J. Fishy.
来到赛后采访，我是维嘉，让我们再次恭喜 Team Heretics 赢下了本场比赛的胜利。我们是请到了 Benji Fishy 来接受我们的采访。那首先可能想问一下 Benji， 来到了上海大师赛，也拿下了属于他们的首胜，现在是什么样的心情和感受呢 ？So welcome to the post-match interview, and I'm now joined by Benji Fishy from Team Heretics with us. Huge congratulations on this win. So how do you feel to pick up your first win of Master Shanghai?
Yeah, it feels amazing. You know, I mean, for me, it's my first ever international win. You know, we went 0-2 in Madrid, so yeah, no, it feels really good, especially with the conditions we've been under. To come out and play like this, you know, with everything, it feels great.
他说感觉非常的惊喜，非常的开心，因为这对于他来说是他第一次在国际赛事上获得比赛的胜利。可能之前在马德里的时候确实没能有机会获得比赛的胜利，当时确实是一个非常可惜的情况。但是现在他们努力了，成功了，然后也拿下了他们国际赛的首胜，非常的开心。那接下来想问一下他，因为其实这一阵对于 Team Heretics 来说，可能确实经历了很多东西，他们经历了人员的轮换，同时可能因为一些原因，很多选手没有及时来到上海，所以他们的准备时间就像 Benji 之前说过是非常非常短的。所以说在现在他们感觉 Pathetic 回来之后，他们的准备是怎么样的？他们的团队默契现在是什么样的呢？ So many things happen these days, and roster change and some other problems. You mentioned you don't have enough time to do the preparations, but today you just seem unbeatable. So how's your preparation and how's your team synergy after Pathetic comeback?
I mean, we've had 1 full day to practice, you know, with this new roster. Us as a team, we haven't scrimmed or played a game together since the grand finals against Fnatic and EMEA. So it was mainly due to like us having a break after grand finals and then having some visa problems while getting to Shanghai. So then, yeah, like past 2 days before this game we were able to practice, but we basically just had 1 full day of practice with Patty and Wu on duelist. So it's been a little bit hard, but I think we're, you know, slowly getting the hang of it. And I think the more games we play, the better it's going to be for us.
他说其实确实对于他们来说准备时间是非常短的，可能只有1到4天这个样子。然后当时他们这一套阵容可能在 Pathetic 加入之前，他们在和 Fnatic 当时的决赛之前有练习过一阵子，但是在 Pathetic 加入之后，可能确实只有短几天的时间让他们去练习。同时当时可能因为一些签证的问题，一些选手没有能够及时来到上海，所以可能说在今天的比赛之前，他们对于准备时间来说可能只有差不多2天的时间，但是对于他们来说，可能他们也确实克服了很多问题，然后也赢下了今天这场比赛的胜利，确实做得非常的漂亮。那最后其实来到上海也有几天了嘛，也想问一下 Benji 选手觉得上海的生活怎么样，喜不喜欢这里的生活的？ So it's been a few days since you arrived to Shanghai. Do you enjoy the life here?
Oh, I love Shanghai. It's literally probably the favorite city I've been to. You know, the place is amazing. It's so pretty. The food is amazing. Like literally, there's nothing for me to complain about. It's unreal. Seriously. Like the first night we got here, we went out with all the lights. Oh, it's so cool. So cool. I love it.
OK， Benji 说他非常喜欢上海，这可能是他来过他最喜欢的城市，而且感觉来到上海之后每天都很开心。他们喜欢这里的生活，喜欢这里的人，然后也非常享受在这打比赛的每一天。对于他来说，对于这个城市，可能他真的觉得没有任何可以抱怨的地方，只有非常喜欢享受来到上海的每一天。So do you also have some words for the Shanghai fans?
Some words?
Do you have words for the fans in this arena?
Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate all the support for me and my team. I'm sorry we sorry we beat a Chinese team. I apologize, but thank you guys for supporting, and I hope to, get some more wins. Thank you.
他说他非常开心，大家可以支持他们。虽然说今天可能和 CN 的队伍对战赢下了 CN 的队伍，他感到有一些抱歉，但是他会尽力赢下每一场比赛，尽力赢下之后的比赛。也感谢大家一直以来的支持，谢谢大家。那我们的赛后采访到这里今天结束了，接下来还有非常重要的抽签仪式在等着大家，不要走开。So that's all for our interview, and let's draw to the draw show.
That's right, it's time for the draw show. Benji, you have nothing to be sorry for because no team has been eliminated so far, but we will find out over the next couple of days who is going to survive and go to playoffs and who will be eliminated on this stage. Now, to find out which teams will be going up against each other, we're going to do a draw. And I am now joined by Victoria, who's going to explain the rules and how we're going to find those matchups.
Yeah, so through the first 2 days of competition, we've had teams that have won, and so they're going to be the 1-0 teams, and then we're going to have the teams that lost their first match. They are the 0-1 teams. Teams from the same pool are going to be drawn to match each other. So the team that is going to be drawn first into each match is the higher seed. Regional matchups are fair game, but that doesn't matter here, so I think we're all set.
Oh, I can't wait to get into it. But just before that, let me explain to everybody here what is happening. 大家好，第一轮的比赛已经结束了，我们现在用抽签的方法看一看下一轮这8个队他们的对手会是谁。我们先从4个1比0的组开始，好吧 ？Right, let's go.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, this is going to be the first seed coming up for that first 1-0 matchup, and it will be G2. Now, as Victoria explained just here, the next team she's pulling out will be the opponent G2 will face, and everybody here wants Fun plus Phoenix. Will we get it though, however? Oh, it's Team Heretics. All right. So Team Heretics will be facing G2 first. G2 will be the highest seed. Next, we're going to be determined who's going to be the first seed for the next match up. And it will be FPX. Okay, they're going to be the first seed coming into this, which means the only team that's still left to be drawn, Victoria, if you would do the honors, of course, is the team that won earlier today. And it is Gen G versus FPX. Wow, okay, that's a pretty spicy matchup right off the bat. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for all of these matches. We got some good teams. So let's go to the 0-1.
Yeah, let's do it. I just absolutely love the energy from the crowd here. Of course, this is where the other CN team is currently hiding. DRG, of course. 你们想看 DRG 吗？想跟他们跟谁？给我说一说。跟他们 DRG Levitan。好。Okay, I think the crowd, I mean, there was a lot of Aspas fans in here, so I feel like everybody, you can hear them. Let's see, are we gonna give them what they want? Oh! Okay, we're gonna be Lev versus T1. Of course, the exact same system as we've done over the upper as well. We have 2 more teams left. Let's see who we're gonna get here. Oh, I'm excited for this one. It is gonna be DRG. It is gonna be DRG. And once again, let's do the honors here, I guess. I do like how we managed to get every region. Of course, Foot is gonna be last. We're not gonna have any inter-regional ones right off the bat, but of course, we gotta say, some of these lower bracket games are gonna start to get scary because elimination is on the line.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the next 2 days of competition. These matches aren't in order yet. The schedule will be released later, but these 2 matches will be tomorrow on day 3. Day 4 we'll have our 0-1 matches, and yeah, super excited.
Oh, I'm very excited as well. 明天我们会看到 G2 Team Heretics 还有 FPX GNG， 所以大家谢谢你们跟我们参加这个秋天，谢谢。Thank you so much, Victoria. I can't wait to see for the games tomorrow.
All right, so we now know how the chips fall on this one. Exciting matches. Also, I would give a massive shout out to the Shanghai crowd. Just popping off and just loving the draw show. That is just great. And I know what they wanted. They wanted to see some FPX shenanigans up in there, which they did manage to get, but I think they wanted FPX G2. At least that was the vibe that I got from the crowd. But instead, we ended up getting G2 Team Heretics, FPX versus Gen G. Now, remember, it's important to note, schedule will be TBD, so make sure you stay glued to the Valorant socials for all that good stuff. And then on day 4, we'll have Lev T1 and then DRG and Foot.
I just think it's funny that each from every region, one of the teams has lost and the other one has won. So it's very good that we still, in that crisscross. I like that.
Yeah. Also, both of these kind of 1-0 games, I think, are going to be incredible to watch. I think we got lucky with the draws here.
Yeah. All right. So what teams have impressed you guys so far?
G2 Heretics. I'm just thinking about them
still talking about it.
No, hear me out. G2. I'm actually going to go for G2 because I think Heretics is too easy. But because even though they lost 13-1, they were able to recover mentally from that, and just because of that, and also bringing it back on the last map.
Yeah, also that 9-3 comeback as well. I think Leaf showing some great stuff. G2's a team with a lot of potential. FPX is the other team that impressed me. I know I predded them, and I was a big FPX head, but I didn't know if they would actually pull it off still, right?
Yeah.
This team has come to international events, has been a little promising, and hasn't pulled it off before. They showed some great tenacity in that matchup. They really committed to their ideas, and I think our squad with some potential clearly here. The Chinese scene continues to level up, and what a time to hit that peak in Shanghai when you have a Masters event at home.
Yeah, the one that, I maybe could be a little recency bias, but honestly, Team Heretics has impressed me. Woot, I'm a Woot guy, okay? All day, every day.
You've been missing
I'm a
out.
Booter.
You've been missing out.
Yeah, I truly have, man. I'm on board. I'm on the Voot train. Next stop, we're going to the finals, baby. No, but seriously, these matches.
You want to change your hot take? This would be the moment.
I mean,
you either do it now or you don't do it.
Heretics in the finals? Oh,
yeah.
He's not going to do it.
Heretics top 4. Can I get Heretics top 4?
Yes, you can. Okay, we changed that. We changed that hot take.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Oh man. Well, overall, I gotta say, great matches. Good way to start off the Swiss stages. And then of course we have the 0-1 games as well. I really do want to know, and remember that will be played on the 4th day. So keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes glued on the Valorant socials for that once again. But yeah, exciting matches.
It's going to be tough for those 0-1 teams. There's a lot of talent down there, especially I think with Lev losing today and that team being down in there, they're going to be dangerous. But even if you win your 0-1 game, you're playing the very next day in the 1-1. So it's a tough road to qualification for the playoffs for those teams should have already lost in Swiss.
Yeah, but especially knowing how playoffs went in every single region, how exhausting it is. But think about a team like T1, right? They lost to G2. Now they have the chance of losing potentially to Leviathan. They're not going to like Americas after this tournament, guys. Sorry.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time everyone's just hating on America's region, you know? Unreal. No, but seriously, what a great way to start things off. We thank you guys so much for joining us. The action, of course, continues tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here. We thank you so much for joining us, and we will have our 1-0 teams playing tomorrow. So we'll see you then, folks. Take care. Heavyweight matchups, a few names come to the mind. Names like Aspas, names like Texture, Genji, Leviathan. It's about to go down.
On this defense are absolutely nasty. Dizzy Blind will come through, but it doesn't matter as Aspas mows down another. Meteor, the last one standing, and Aspas will claim it as well. Flashes now starting to come through, and they are just met with an immense amount of death. A blink and you miss it round. But already damage dealt further. Found Tex guns down 2. 13-7. Lev making a statement here on Icebox. Cherub doing wonders, but Aspas 1-2 tap Tex with a finisher. They'll clean him up.
This guy, let's go.
The 2v3 as Lev looking to try to convert the bonus. Texture inching forward, able to find one. Sends on the sad soul. Looks for the third, and he's got it. Texture maybe seemingly coming alive. Clear out on the turret, entry around into the back. Karen's gonna be struck down. Texture able to find one. Looks for a second. Finds it. Push coming through. The covering fire from Munchkin is absolutely gorgeous. 13-5. Genji bouncing back after that Icebox. They take us the distance. They take us to Breeze. They're gonna be stuck. Does so much Tex. 1-2 punch. Knocks him out. Munchkin playing forward. Finds Aspas. Lakia finds Calm. Mazzino swings out, Meteor says no, and it's now all on Aspas. He's been doing everything that he can, but Meteor will not give him the time of day.
Genji, they're darn good at being scrappy too. What a shot from Texture!
Genji will win the series 13-7.
An unlikely contest between two teams here that I don't think anyone had on the bingo cards meeting at an international event, but here it is. You got DRG on one side, the third-seeded team looking to shock everyone with a potential win here. And then for Team Heretics, it's about getting their system in place and getting Woot activated.
But he's able to survive, fortunately. Wow. For him, Benji Fishy with 3.
But Bukashu has an answer back.
He's able to get both. Bukashu certainly not trying to conceal it. And he snaps on the boo.
He's so good. He's so good, Doug.
Heretics have outclassed DRG every step of the way.
That'll be the first map for Team Heretics.
Yeah, but they've got a brutal crossfire. He has to get
all the time
as best as he can, and he's going to get it. Can he pull it off this time? Yes, he can! And that Cypher is going to get so much info. They've got to overwhelm, and they've managed to do so. Nick, again, an opportunity to be hero, but Woot drops him.
Let's go, baby. Good.
But this time the Paranoid did not connect. However, Benji Fishy and Woot still do.
This kid. This kid.
My goodness. They just make it look so easy.
Let's go!
Heretics from beginning to end, from A to Z, dismantle and destroy DRG.
The sharpshooter. From the front to the back, go.
Don't stop the party. Don't stop the rave. 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 Can't feel my body, but don't stop the rave. Don't stop the party. Don't stop the rave. Can't feel my body, but don't stop the rave. Rave, 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 Now everybody from the front to the back go.
पर्दे हैं, मोबाइल नहीं, रिटर्न कैसे करोगे? उतारो।
Amazon, हर मुस्कान की अपनी दुकान।
A fantastic start here for G2. They take their first map win in Shanghai, and I got their coach, Josh RT, here with me now. The turnaround time between the Grand Finals Americas and this event was pretty tight. So what has been your main focus in terms of preparation to face a team like T1?
The main focus is just, first of all, like understanding the styles the APAC region and the Chinese regions would bring to us. I would have to prep my players to just understand that like, there's a different pace and different type of fights that they would like to take. And just anticipating that is the first thing to take over the game for us, yeah.
Well, they dealt with that very well on map 1. Thank you very much for your time and good luck on map 2.
G2 manages to pick up the map win, or the map pick, excuse me, from T1 on Breeze. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy and Kukuka here, because Doug had to trek across town. He abandoned us to go commentate. What a bum. Anyway, so no, but oh my goodness. I thought for a minute there we were going to see a flawless half from G2 Kukuka. It was looking very much like that because they were absolutely popping off. I mean, really the one that was popping off the most was Leaf. I mean, this guy was out of this world.
I think he was definitely a highlight, not only for that second half, also for the first one. The amount of opening kills and the impact that he was having in the game, especially when we were talking about that third round, after they weren't able to convert the second one, where he just goes and, gets the kills. We know, it's still Leaf. He still has the part of duelist in him that you cannot take away from him. Same goes for Trent. I think that the utility, the way that they were using every single piece that they had, how they were picking, especially on that last round where we had that zenithal view of that gorgeous set play, time after time, G2 demonstrated that they were ready to take this map off of T1. And I think that, especially the responsibility that Leaf was taking, not only the gorgeous A's that he had, because we know that he's able to do this, is that he was always very calm about the entire situation.
Oh yeah, he always is. He always is. That's the thing about Leaf that makes him so dangerous as a player. 342 ACS. This guy was popping off in that game. And the thing is that, when Leaf was on Cloud9 before, right, one of the things that we praised him for was that proactivity on the jet. He was always in the face of his opponent, really not letting them breathe. And I think on the Cypher role, that more lurker type of role, he has shined even more so because he just has that natural ability to read when he needs to make those plays.
And it's the versatility as well. You know, like I can be the Cypher. I think that the way that he's playing with the utility, it suits him very well. Like he's very aware of every single thing that he's doing. But again, I think that it's very surprising to see this. This is the first time T1 has lost Breeze this entire year. In fact, this iteration of the roster had not lost this map. And obviously that was one of the reasons why they decided to go for this map as their opening map for Master Shanghai. But the way that G2 turned things around, as you said, we thought that we were going to see that flawless second half. Yes, Saya player and Exterior especially had a very Exterior the first half, Saya player the second one. He was the one taking things closer. But there were a couple of situations where we saw things off time, and we do not know if that is for the pressure of being on the stage. You seeing that this is the map that you probably had the most prepared, and you've been read, and you have no response.
Yeah, the Izu play I think came to mind, right? Like had he hit the dimensional rift, you know, just a little bit earlier, might have been able to get the timing a bit better, right? You could definitely tell that there was a coordination issue with their timings. They were really struggling to find air, and that is honestly a credit to Valen and Josh RT on the preparation here, right? Because very prep heavy team.
The way that they are implementing the Astra, like this composition is so strong. Like again, if you want to see a sum up of this map, watch the last round. Like the Astra ult with the cages, the wall, like everything that goes on, like the way they segment the map is so beautiful and it's so strong that it's very hard to react to.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you know, one thing that you had noted before though was that Saya was starting to come online a little bit more, and I just realized our buddies turned the other way. Oh my word, he's got to address the camera. He's the fourth analyst here. And in case, also my brain couldn't handle it. But the thing is,
okay. You'd be surprised with the things I do in EMEA when I get OCD.
My brain was like, he's turning around the other way.
Is this can aligned?
The can aligned. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you're really seeing these teams, or at the very least, you're seeing G2 with some excellent reads. But now we're going to find out what's going on over in the T1 camp. We have, of course, the coach of T1 standing by with Yintu to get some thoughts. Yintu, what's going on?
I'm now joined by Coach Autumn from T1. Now, Icebox is coming up next. It's not really a map that you guys play a lot of, so what can you expect from G2?
I already know G2 already show their Icebox a lot, and I watched their bots, and I can see they don't have duelists, and we prepare our Icebox for this Masters for a bit, so probably I can guess their playstyle would be same, because they don't have enough data from us. So if we can do our own game, and if our preparation is well, probably we have a chance to win.
Fantastic, I look forward to seeing it. Let's see if T1 indeed can bring it back on map 2.
Hey, I like that, you know, Coach Autumn's out here saying, like, we've seen what G2 can do on Icebox. I mean, their Icebox is stupendous. It's a map that they've definitely leaned on quite a bit. The Harbor Gecko has been a great composition that they've implemented. I love the way that the Valen plays Harbor on this map. So, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, though, there is a lot of film on this map for them, right?
And I love the fact that he was so honest. Like, we know exactly how they're going to play it. We know that if they still play without the duelists, if they keep that composition, we know that the turnaround time between the playoffs and Master Shanghai hasn't been that big, so we can expect it. But on the other side, what is T1 going to do? Is that composition that we saw with the Chamber, with the Reina, going to come back into play? Because again, this is a map that we've only seen once or then, I believe this entire year. They first banned it in multiple occasions, and there has to be a reason for them not to just ban it against a team like G2.
Okay, well, they're gonna stick with the Chamber. Reina's coming back to play. We got the Sage. This is gonna be interesting how it plays out. I wish I could tell you. But T1's just gonna have to show it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see how the ideal diff is going to be here. You know, with Escalade and Valen, we talked about Valen and how well he works around everything that is going on in the map. yes, they've only had one showing. If they decided to go for this pick, if there was something to prepare against, it was this composition. To me, I'm really looking to what's going to happen with mid, specifically when we move on to the attack. But with all the utility that G2 has to prepare for this defense, they should have a very easy time. Again, yes, the plant could come easy for the side of T1. I don't see this composition working in the international stage, though.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for them to have to pull through. But, you know, T1 has proven that they can deal with the adversity in the past. Is this going to be the case here? Honestly, really hard to tell. I gotta favor G2 in this instance, though, with how good their icebox is.
Exactly. We were talking at the beginning of the day of how important those nerfs were to Viper and how we talk about the post-ban and everything. There's not much that T1 can do. They have to be extra aggressive for them to supply and try and change up.
Hey, well, they have the Reyna, so maybe that's going to be the saving grace for them. Let's go ahead and find out how this whole thing's going to break down. Send it right back over to Achilleos and Paper Thin.
Thank you very much. Yes. Well, I think there's a decent amount to unpack. Desk doing their damnedest, but we have some changes. It's the same composition overall from the side of T1 coming into Icebox. They showed this versus Gen G. It was the first time that we had ever seen Saya playing Reyna in his career, which was very weird. But now he's on the Sage. Izu, who's playing Viper, is now on the Reyna, and Rossi's back over to Viper, and he was the one playing Sage. So we've just shuffled around 3 different players.
Yeah, and it makes a little bit of sense, right? Like, Rossi's a very good Viper player. You can see Excurate getting up there, but Orb going to be able to be grabbed by Valen. He's just going to fall right back off the high tide, give him the cover to grab that. But it is hard to say for sure what you can expect out of T1. Not only do you only have one look at this particular comp, but now it's going to be played potentially slightly differently. Yeah, Icebox, one of the maps where Reyna can absolutely thrive, but with Izu piloting it, I'm not exactly sure what to expect. I'm pretty sure this is his first Reyna performance ever, too.
Double shock's going to be sent out. Blind disconnect here on Izu, but Carpe is able to collect 2. Rossi got him down. Another 2 limbs there for him, but Carpe starts things off very nicely. As all of a sudden the Leers come out, the util gets dumped. And T1 very quickly are able to find these eliminations, so pistol round victory is going to be theirs.
Well, you can already see some of the ideas here, and Autumn was just talking about it during the interview where you don't have to worry about some of those explosive hits because there is no duelist for the side of G2. So you can give them a little bit of space and just punch them as they're trying to make their executes, make their plants. And you can see Josh RT a little bit frustrated with that one, but just a good patience play here from T1. Reminiscent a bit of what G2 actually likes to do on their defender side against those A hits. They'll kind of hang out by the ramp over in mid as well, and then kind of swarm you as you're trying to get comfortable on those pistol rounds. Let's see what they can do here on this follow-up.
I mean, there's no ambiguity. That recon, it pinged everyone on T1. So you get the push behind here from Jonah. Says, yeah, they're not rotating out. He does have that trademark to try to work around or at least clear out for now.
Toxin screen down.
He'll still get as close as he possibly can. Tries to cut his way up over top, but eventually does have to go ahead and take that one down. So Walt coming up, interrupting some of these kills is Mosh in over the top. To force them off that plant, and so far it does. So an interrupt coming through. Couple knives there onto the wall to try to break through. Saya will be able to get this plant down. Izu at 47, would love to get a kill, would love to try to get that Devour coming in. Well, just will be the Leer, just spray across. Jonah able to come up with 1 as Rossi will fall, but otherwise 4 players from T1 do stand tall. Vandal scooped up there by X-Grid as well, making sure they carry that ever-important rifle over into this now bonus round.
Yeah, and you're already kind of conditioning G2 here that it's going to be a lot of A hits. Yeah, I see it already. This is something that they like to do. Them and Paper Rex love to grab these early offs in round 3 if they can establish a big enough lead. Certainly, the way things have been going, it's a good opportunity here to get Excurate into his comfort zone. A phenomenal opper, and it's going to have to be really stalwart for T1. Good start, a good recovery. And use the Poison Orb to cover mid. Of course, not able to be recovered anymore in the newest patch. And just a little bit of info being gathered. Going to catch 2 around that corner. They didn't see anything else. Valen is scooting over towards the other side of the site. Good shock dart does a little bit of damage.
Oh, as he swings out to try to clear the drone. Icy is watching for it. Fantastic headshot to go ahead and open things up on this defense for G2. Still having the players try to make their way across, but Izu able to find 1, so now 4v4.
Gun here.
Off is on a very forward, deep line for Excurate. Very easy to lose that weapon here as the chaos gets ready to ensue. Toward the wall, back up, off shot, not going to connect, but Saya player able to find that covering fire, catches one, restabilizes his aim, finds a second. Carpe will take down Trent. Now it is all on Leap. He's been a menace, but Excurate will go ahead and get himself on the board. That final shot coming through, and T1, they will start off this map 3-0.
Just 3 players working in unison so well here for T1. Excurate covering with the op, and then immediately Saya player realizes there's contact from the rafters, swings in. Carpe as well getting involved. And then Excurate just going to be able to watch the screen's angle, get that final kill.
The crowd echoing his cheers. But already, we see a pump of the brakes. 3-0 beginning. Not what G2 were likely anticipating coming into this one. Because while T1, you know, they did play close to Gen G on that icebox. They managed to make it a 13-11 in the loss. The comp was still looking disjointed. A lot of that came down to just pure aim. You know, some util combos, but for the most part, it was just a lot of good shooting. So having T1 come out the gate and be able to start things off with a 3-0, that is not what G2's looking for. So timeout, gonna be burned nice and early here, wanting to just go ahead and course correct, not let this get out of hand.
And you could make the argument that G2 might have an idea how to play against the Reyna comp because they have. Crew does run Reyna on this map. They did play it earlier in the playoffs in Americas, but it's a very different comp that Crew runs. They run the double initiator. They run the Gecko and the KO, whereas this is, you know, wildly different. You got essentially, you know, 2 Sentinels with the Sage and the Chamber, so it's a very different look that T1's going to bring you on the back of that Reyna. Yeah, there's still kind of the dismisses and the other things that Reyna can do, but the follow-up behind it is going to be a lot more playing for trades, a lot more looking for some long-angle fights with that Chamber, things like that we're already seeing come into play.
And it's already just been, overall, very clean. I mean, Rossi's the only one who's died on T1. He's died in every single round. So, Cash being banked up by the rest of these players. Leaf, they deep, work forward, but as they continue to poke and prod, Icy gets taken down. Leaf is going to be good for 1, does take out Excurate. That operator going to have to be carried over into the next round. Unless the rest of G2 can try to clutch this one up. Clear up over the top, did get the line there on the trend, the drop in, his side player playing this aggressively. And he's starting to do it disrespectfully as well. Couple shots there. Onto the corpses. Jonah P trying to see if he can get anything done here with that Marshall. The slow orb to stave him off. Izu around the back. Finds it. Doesn't even need to use the dismiss, but he's like, man, I got money. Goes ahead and pops it, and that is going to be T1 still looking good. But this is the round that we expect that timeout is going to be preparing for. And see how things look with some more rifles back into the hands of G2.
Well, you can see that I think G2 already trying to get in the heads of T1 a little bit by getting aggressive, getting ahead of these plants, because this is something that you can't do against this comp as easily, especially because of the Sage Wall. Give them that extra space where they can kind of set up, and Zaya's just been an absolute menace around that plant site. He is just mowing people down as they try to come from rafters and back site. And you gotta find ways to deal with that. You gotta get util in their faces, but a little bit of a change of pace here for the side of T1. I'm really curious how quickly Jonah P is gonna start rotating as well. Has this been all A all the time for T1? They haven't shown you any different looks yet.
Not at all. Doing the team secret strat. Just go A over and over again. But now we have this about to be basically quad push coming down through mid with a join in from Jonah over at green. Izu eating a bit of damage there as the nanoswarm is going to be popped, and now we're also going to be investing that Viper's Pit. Valen, the rest of the team now arriving. They have managed to avoid that trademark.
3 coming from the flank though, so a lot of pressure here for Saya.
The trademark actually put in shallowly, so they're able to just push their way forward and not have to alert that at all. Saya, I don't think he's going to be ready for this at all. He's got a couple players just above him, but they're also not checking for him. Finds the one, and it's not going to be able to find a follow while Valen does strike him down. 3v4, Excurate, off in hand, good for 1. Tries to pivot, tries to look over to the right-hand side, but he ends up falling, and now it's just Rossi here in the pit. He's bought a decent amount of time. He still has these bites. He's trying to counter-rotate back around here from the front. Finds the first, finds the second! And that is going to be the Red Bull clutch as Rossi gets himself 3 and T1 get up to 5.
Sublime timing here from Rossi. Just gets ahead of Jonah P as he tries to enter that Viper's Pit. Wraps around, lets him start defusing, completely catches him off guard. Phenomenal play here Got to that ult pretty quickly. Died a lot early on, but that means he's going to have a little bit of earlier access to that ult. And yeah, just not aware of it. I like the change here from G2, sending a lot of players to the flank, but it was pretty well read. My team was Excurate.
Aiming for the operator.
Yep. As he should.
You're about to be cash capped. And obviously, build up as much as you possibly can. Now, another disjointed buy here for the side of G2. They do have that Thrash. They have that Reckoning online. It's just 2 Stingers, 2 Bulldogs, and a Sheriff.
But think
what
about
kind of damage they can find. And it looks like, yeah, Excurate does readjust his trademark. Knows that he misplaced it last time.
Yep. And think about how nice this is for T1, that they were able to get that pit ahead of these 2 ults that are so good at clearing it. So the ult cycle really working in the favor of T1 right now. They have the res as well.
Oh, and Carpe has the read. He knew that they could just go ahead and smoke this off as Carpe comes up with 3. Jonah finally does put an end to it, puts him down, finds himself a second with a nice headshot. As Leaf able to get up close, brings us a hell of a lot closer than we could have possibly anticipated. So yeah, decides to try to play this one out, but as he drops down onto the site, Saya player will be able to finish him off. So 6-0, T1 continuing on their merry way.
And this time it's an even earlier positioning to deal with this late flank for T1. It's going to be Carpe showing us some flashy shots. That transition onto that second player was phenomenal. Let's go. And T1 here, again, pace of play, going to be quick between these 2 teams. They like to get those plants down early. They like to get into those post plants as comfortably as they can. And now ults across the board here for G2. This is borderline and must-win round on this map.
Got 5 just about ready to go as Trent is 1 charge away from having that. He gets himself lurched forward. A little bit of spray though. They're suspecting that, but as Isu goes rushing forward, he's just going to be blinded up by the Dizzy, and Icy is able to take him down. No covering fire, no real reinforcement. Everybody else just staved off by that Reckoning off the rip. So very nicely done there by Valen to get them an early advantage.
Look how quick T1 is rotating here, and I thought maybe G2 was going to mirror them, but they're not. They're going to clear that utility. That's going to alert them to T1's presence. How comfortably is T1 going to be able to get this plant down?
They're still going to be able to get here with a good amount of time because these nanoswarms do come through. It does delay them a bit, but now the wall can come into play. As the plant will be right here on the default corner. Wall coming through, Hunter's Fury as well, now opened up, just interrupts that one, not allowing for Saya player to go ahead and complete it. So Spike still not out. Thrash does go forward. And right now, T1, I mean, maybe feeling committed to this position, especially as that pit is now coming through. This is G2 throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this site, but T1, they want to bail out, they want to rotate back. And Leaf, somewhat suspecting this, is starting to rotate back into A.
And he's got that lockdown if they start coming this way. He can buy even more time. He can push them into more uncomfortable angles. Love this.
But he's in such a deep position. God. He needs to come away with kills. He needs to be able to find the surprise if he wants that lockdown to find value. But now the swarm is coming through. There's the res, and that's the perfect timing for Rossi to come up over the top. Takes him out. Now that lockdown, not going to be seen. Shock Dart's throwing the try and delay. Plant going to be coming through. Wingman gets the spot onto one there, down below, and Carpe just plus forwards and kills off 2. Jonah now, the last one standing. And this has been a catastrophic round for G2. He gets the spot onto 1, but Carpe breaks line of sight. They still have 5 players alive. Can he do anything here? Can he find damage? They suspect that he's going to be coming through from that A main side. They might be up on Belt. And yeah, I think he just has to save. He's going to see if anybody tries to exit, maybe try to catch that frag here. But if he doesn't survive with this weapon, then it's even more catastrophic.
And all the ults they invested in this round. I mean, I guess the slightly good news is he didn't lose the lockdown. I mean, sure. I don't know what if it was worth it. I thought for sure Leaf was going to be in a position there. Okay, Jonah B's going to get one.
We'll find one. So the flawless not to come through here, but it's still no closer to a round victory for G2 as T1 continue to run away with this icebox. You can see Spirit still looking relatively high here for the squad. Some smiles on their faces, but certainly not in a position that they want to be in at the moment. And it seemed like it was very much in their hands. The start was great, that early Reckoning, catching them off guard, finding the punish onto Izu, and just stopping that potential res from coming in. It felt like every single ult investment from G2 was pretty much perfectly timed. They interrupt that plant, they get the pit to stop them from getting back into the site. All that they were missing was that lockdown being used in a more defensive position to stop them from getting into A.
Exactly. No, you're right on, my friend. I thought for sure that Leaf was going to do that. Oh, quick up on the pipes, but my God, what a shot from Icy.
Another first blood for him. Saya quick to reply, does manage to find Jonah. Icy now just going to get tucked along here into the corner. And the pace very much gets slowed down.
T1 just looking for these angles for X-Curate. Cove is going to go up, though. He's just going to continue to hold that angle, see if anyone's going to try to push out for info or anything like that. But for now, T1 happy to plant their feet, looking for these late lurks potentially. Let's see, with the spike is Saya. It's kind of drifting around there on belt. For now, nobody really moving a muscle with no contact on either side.
Yeah.
A re-up of the high tide here for Valen.
I mean, G2 is fairly convinced that they're still going to be in this site. They have no reason to suspect otherwise. That alarm bot is still sat over at B. And nothing's been seen by Leaf. Yeah, quick heal, quick clear on that recon as the wall falls. And this is the moment now for T1 to try to strike. A lot of detail dumped into the corner. There it is, the snake bite does flush out Icy. Really good awareness here from T1. Rossi going to be taken down. Trent is able to put that vandal to use for at least one kill, but can he find more? There's the jiggle from Carpe. Knows that there's going to be another, and it's a bit of a 50-50 for him, but Carpe just goes in for the challenge, gets the headshot. It's now 8-0 for T1.
Well, I mean, credit to G2 for doing their homework on Breeze. Credit to T1 for doing their homework on this map. I mean, they are reading every single position so nicely. The shock dart into the snake bite combo with the slow there. Yeah, no, there's no chance there. They just knew his position. He's just dead. With the slow orb there as well, he can't get out. I mean, it's just unbelievable the way they're reading the map right now. Every time G2 wants to take an angle, every time G2 wants to take a fight, T1 is one step ahead of them, cutting them off. Just so ready for everything they're trying to do. These quick hits up towards their nest side, things like that, they're being shut down every time.
Yeah, and I think that if you ask a coach, you know, what is the worst feeling? They'll probably say it's having to call both timeouts in the first half, especially when you don't have any round wins. It's something that you want to be able to hold in your back pocket, but you just can't leave the players floundering like this any longer. So perfectly understandable to have to call this one now here for G2, but you know, they need this to then work. It needs to find value. They need to be able to run back at least just those 4 rounds that are possible for them to get in this first half.
And your big guns are being absolutely shut down right now for G2. Valen and Leaf, 4 kills between the two of them. I mean, it's just been phenomenal how drilled, how clean T1 has looked. And it's just great trades, great positioning, great awareness. Good util when they need to, but right now it's just more about everybody kind of doing their job and being in the right place at the right time. Let's see if there's any challenge here. Carpe gonna scout ahead of this high tide, just see if there's any info. Alir, just in case somebody had tried to push out early for G2, but still have that lockdown for Leaf. Let's see if that's part of what this timeout was about. I suspect it is. He's been sitting on it for a bit.
Just Fury on the open, Carpe looking to see if he can catch anybody here, and just barely splits the difference there, so unable to find the tag on the Trent. Lockdown now as well, trying to buy some space. Saya, can he get out of it in time? Yes, he does. So to detain, not going to be found playing that one. On a razor's edge is T1, but Extra now going to be taken down. Leaf starting to come up a little bit. That's the operator now dealt with. Izu trying to find a pacey timing. Goes up, gets the dismiss out. Sees a couple other players, but now Leaf comes away with a second. Saya going to be taken down, but Izu as well. Equalizing. Gets that kill. Off shot taken out into Carpe's hands. Unable to find the value there. Revealing area. Recon cleared. Nothing spotted. Sees the legs of Icy, but cannot find the kill. And Rossi cannot get the clutch. G2 will at long last get themselves on the board.
And even though that's read pretty well there by T1, that was a conscious decision to invest that Hunter's Fury before the lockdown came down, because they knew they had the timing to get Saya player back out after he puts the plant down. I mean, a lot of teams aren't going to get aggressive off the back of their lockdowns these days. They're going to wait it out, because you can never count other teams out of getting aggressive towards you, trying to clear potentially that lockdown or get a free pick and leave. So they have to play back. T1 tries to take advantage of it, but it gives G2 enough comfort to get their angles, to get their shooting under control. Couple just off the mark shots from X-Curate hurts there as well for T1. Usually pretty steady with that op. This time around, just a little bit off the mark. However, the money obviously very, very good. A little bit of congestion though at the front of the orb is still T1 continuing their march forward towards A, and G2 is going to opt to play a little bit further back, giving up that front part of the site, just like they did on the pistol round.
Drone for drone, but I mean, right now, Trent, he is spotting out everything. No ambiguity once again here for T1. Shock dart lobbed in. Not going to get the connection there.
T1 hasn't needed the ambiguity, though. They haven't really needed to have much.
Another wall set up. There's the reveal. Oh, the TP out. He's timing it from extra to keep himself safe. They're also kind of hoping that this is maybe faked, that somebody else, is in that forward position. Zisu says he's tucked it. He's able to find a headshot. Dismisses forward, just checking for more info. Cuts back. Lear now going to be sent out. And spots out two. Quick little dismiss there as he goes up on top of the wall, and Leaf does manage to shut that down. Rossi, though, ready to invest. The pick coming through. Extra re-peeking. Finds Jonah, and he knew that Leaf had already worked his way into the site, so they know that he's in this committed position. That's a bit wanting from Excurit, though, given how low he was. Ends up going down. But can Leaf find more? There's the headshot. As he gets himself 3. It would be an ace clutch for him to get G2 a second round win. We've already seen him get an ace on that Breeze map. All on his lonesome. Jumps across to the opposite side. They hear this. They should roughly kind of know where he's going to be positioned, but as he pushes up into the smoke, Carpe with a shorty will be able to put him down. Not giving him any more wiggle room. They shut it out. That's T1 now, 9-1.
Yeah, loving the way that Izu's been playing this Reyna in the last couple of rounds. Gets the kill, uses the dismiss to get information. Immediately the Lear follow-up. Goes on top of the wall, Leaf's ready for it, but now Excurit finding value with that op. Something missing out of the previous round, something that is hitting in this round for T1. That is a difference maker for sure, because you can't let Leaf get hot, as we saw on Breeze. He could start taking over maps. At this point, though, 9-1 for T1. Good, pretty in control.
And you can see, the heavy stack just only leaving Jonah over towards B, because it has just been this A site over and over again. Extra with 1. Rossi, Saya, one apiece as well, as the Thrash does get invested, but it's not going to be able to come up with any detains. I see he's been fairly clean with a sheriff shot so far, but the first couple just not being given the space. He's not being given the timing to try to set up for them. He falls, and Rossi reads the lurk decently well, just can't quite connect the shots. Takes a bit of damage, but it's going to be Execute the IGL, picking up 3 to get T1 up to double digits.
And now T1 is hitting their win conditions. It's great execute, their great awareness as well, but now Excurit starting to heat up with that op. As if a player on T1, whether it be Saya or Excurit, starts hitting their op shots, starts getting those opportunities, forget it. They are too good with it, and it's really hard to deal with.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Have we seen a single plant on B? The one that they tried. Interrupted.
They tried.
It's just been nothing but A.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's no ambiguity to this, Achilleos. They're just reading. They're just reading G2 so well. Tour de force.
Tour de force at the ready, but Dren able to shut it down. Icy fighting 1. There's the res to try to bring Extra back in, but still T1 bleeding out multiple players. Leaf forward spot, but Rossi snappy with it, finds that headshot. As T1 look for an 11.5. Jonah noted, has to rotate back across through mid. You can see T1 not feeling comfortable. Losing out on those players, that's a lot of their entry power, a lot of their util taken out of their hands. And they know that Hunter's Fury is on the opposite side.
But if you think about it, with this comp that T1 has, it makes a lot of sense that it's not a lot of B. They don't have a lot of ult flashes. They don't have the KO. They don't have the Gecko. They don't have the ability to clear some of those back areas as easily, where they can work the angles really nicely as a team here. Yes, they have the Lears, but you don't have the ability to sort of clear deeper angles. So these close quarters angles, of course, it works into the Reyna as well. The Sage works a treat here. Not sure if he was supposed to raise him up or not, but...
Extra does end up dying there as the fight comes through, but Jonah was already taken so very low. Hunter's Fury, Trent just fishing, trying to find anything that he can to stave them off, but nothing spotted. A 4K from Rossi, as it's 11-1 in the half. T1 so far out in front.
It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. T1 able to bounce back like this and look like this on their opponent's map pick. Crazy stuff here. Good shooting from G2, but it's just not enough. T1's just got the economy and they've got the shots, man.
Just another one of these situations where it just feels like a night and day difference for both teams compared to that first map. Huge response here from T1. We'll pass this back over to the analyst as to break things down for that first half.
Thank you so much, fellas. Wow. Talk about just a flip-floppy game that you're seeing here, but T1 comes out of the gate swinging, literally, 11-1. Honestly, that was just I mean, granted, they just went A the entire time.
Literally. A is the name of the game. I mean, I was surprised, right? Because I see G2's name in the server. And back in EMEA, when they were competing there, they would be the ones going A
Completely
all
different
the time.
team, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah, of course, yeah. But he was so surprising and so consistent at the same time. We wanted to take a look at this one, round number 7, because this is after they had a pause, after they had some time to think, after they realized that they kept going A no matter what. G2 takes matters into their own hands. They want to change things up. And the response from T1 was to go back and forth to B, just teasing things around to see if they can have any kind of effect on G2. And it didn't matter. The way that they then rotate back, get the kill on to leave, as we saw at the beginning of the clip, it's so important because we were talking about how they had to be aggressive, how they had to be consistent, how they should not be scared of taking those duels. And that's exactly what we saw, especially from like players like Saya player. Yes, he was playing on the stage first timer, but it doesn't matter. He's still Saya. Like there was literally nothing that G2 could do. Like we saw so many different approaches to how they wanted to change the rounds up. Even pushing through mid, pushing through B, being a little bit more aggressive on A, leaving the space, playing through for retake. Nothing was working.
Yeah, nothing was working, and even I mean, Coach Autumn did call it. Right?
He did call it.
He was like, 100%. We know that they don't like to play that no duelist comp, so we're just going to go ahead and just burst onto the site. And they managed to do that round after round after round after round. Well, look at this. We're going to send it back over to the casters to see how this all unfolds. Could be a quick one.
It very well could be, but not at all in the way that we maybe had anticipated, considering what happened to Breeze, considering what T1's record has been like on this map. But this is, as Autumn was saying, we workshopped this quite a bit. Didn't have to change the comp, just change who plays what. And Execute, well, he still plays Chamber, pushes forward, finds that first kill. His Leaf gets taken down.
I'm just left in awe of how T1 is just looking so much crisper on this map. It's incredible. I mean, right there, just Execute, kind of understanding where they like to peak early, taking advantage of it. Now, Rossi going to be challenged a bit. A lot of util in the hands of Carpe. He went for the full util buy. He could potentially back him out. Rossi sees a lot. He has to get out of there. He knows it.
Just pulls away. Harbor Wall now going to be coming up. Wingman there for the plant. Slow up to try to stop them from getting into a forward position. This does leave Valen a little bit stranded, but he's still able to come away with one before falling to side player's hand. Side player continuing to try to push up, try to find that additional punish. Does end up getting caught. 3v3 though. One shock dart left available. Execute still pushing in from behind, and it looks like, yep, they do suspect it, but it's back to back. Look for that, and he's got it. Execute the 4K to give T1 another pistol round win to give them map point. That is disgusting.
He's been outrageous in some of these rounds today. Kicks it off with the Headhunter, has the Sheriff. Oh my goodness.
Does it with Leaf's Sheriff.
That's unbelievable.
Bringing the Pacific Anthem over to Master Shanghai.
My man. The only thing I could fault T1 in that round was Saya overswung. That was about it. I mean, it was just great map control there with how Execute is able to push out, control the front of A so well. And then Rossi has a great read to fall back after seeing those. I mean, it's just, other than that, it's really well played there by T1. I mean, they're in firm control of that round in terms of the info game, in terms of the shooting. Everything was them.
My only criticism was that it wasn't another ace for Execute. He let somebody else get a kill. Could have had back to
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But now, obviously, the force up here for G2. But even then, still not that strong. 3 stingers can do some significant damage, but they're going to have to try to play a bit more up close and personal. As that wingman plant comes in. Nothing to stop it, nothing to dissuade it. Wingman looks to be recovered. Side player just inching his way out, just taking pot shots, trying to see if he can find any kind of straight connection, do some damage before they really start with this retake.
Really just that Gecko utility left. Shock Dart keeps players at bleed temporarily, but they got all the info.
Run to the spot, easy to try to lead the charge. He does end up falling down. Aggressive push forward, and that's Execure with a no-scope outlaw headshot. What a snappy reaction from him. Either way, they continue to storm their way forward. And as Valen, he was the last one standing. He does fall. T1 damn near perfection on Icebox as they close this out 13-1. They are not going quite quietly into the night. They are fighting back in a major way, and they are extending this series to a third and final map.
I mean, a map that they had been afraid to play until the lower finals, the very last match they played in Pacific. And they come into this and they say, no, we've got it. We figured it out. And it certainly looks like it. Unbelievable performance from T1.
Absolutely insane, but we still have a Lotus to see who is going to be walking away victorious. And that action will continue in just a few, so don't go anywhere.
Undefeated. Undefeated.
Back really soon because the score was 11-1 and there's just nowhere else for that really to go. Man, I mean, look, I'm gonna just be honest. I can't recall the last time I saw G2 get pooed on like that, but that was literally just a dumpster fire for them, honestly.
Well, that is probably because this iteration of the roster has never lost as hard. A 13-1 in your map pick.
Yeah.
We were talking about maybe Biden into some bait, but this was on a different level. Yes, we had players playing some agents for the first time, but it didn't matter because the cohesion was there. Everybody was being extra aggressive. We weren't even seeing on the replays how they were feeling every single moment.
Yeah, and Saya Player was having a field day out there.
Yeah.
You know, something that we didn't get to talk about because honestly, it happened and we were kind of like perplexed. We're like, oh, they're using the same composition that they were using before. Oh, wait, they swap players around, and I think they found the combination that works for them
I
now.
would love to know why. Like, I need to know, like, you already had the comp, you already had to play it. What made you, like, is it just the fact that you lost and everybody was like, oh, no worries, next time I will be playing the Sage? Because I think that we just saw it in that replay, right? Even though Saya is the Sage and he's going first, he's not going to be the kind of Sage he's going to just go on side, put the ball down, let me get the plant. No, he's going to get the kills. And we can also see in those replays how G2 is trying to react to that, how they are trying to not allow it, but T1 just, they didn't
Literally
care.
nothing. Literally, like, nothing G2 could do would work there because there was just so much just aggressive potential from that composition. Also, Excurrent was hitting some wild shots as well. I mean, across the board, this T1 team just dominated as we take a look here at the breakdown. And really, you know, on the other side for G2, there's not really much else to tip your hat for. I mean, you know, Valen and Leaf just getting absolutely neutralized. And then on the other side, you could really just take your pick. Everyone was having a field day out there. Just so happened that Rossi was the one finding those frags, who also made a switch to back to the Viper here. I mean, just absolute pandemonium, but T1 pull it off.
And he had an amazing play. I think that if we go individual by individual, for example, X-Ray, he gets the operator in round 3.
Yeah.
Rossi also as well, the play that he had in the Viper spit, like how he moves and how he interprets everything. I think that every single one of the players, no matter what agent they were playing, had their moment into making this such a dominant win.
Yeah, and really, I think G2, you get to a point
always another
where it
layer.
snowballs so much that you really can dig yourself not only out of, you know, the score pit that you find yourself in, but the mental prison that you're in. I mean, they certainly did. They certainly did. They had to. They had no other choice. Obviously, just a very well executed game there by T1. You saw on the other side how prep G2 was for T1's Breeze. T1 obviously did the homework on their Icebox. Now this takes us to Lotus here. But before we do that, though, we have our HyperX Reflex moment. We got to give it to Excurrent there for that awesome 3K that he was able to pull off. I mean, really, you could have just pick and choose any round, but this was just, again, another one of those just wacky shots with the Sheriff they're receiving. Excurrent just doing the business.
It's poetic, right? Like, he gets the first one with the Mindhunter, then he gets the Sheriff and gets onto 3 more kills to secure the pistol round. Didn't even need it.
No.
They could have given away some rounds, put some makeup onto that score so
I
it
could
didn't
have
look
just
so
been like, yo,
dominant.
let's throw my boys a bone. Let's get them a few more. Nah, not gonna happen. They just shut it down. Beautifully done though, honestly, by T1. But now though, Bea, that takes us to Lotus, and I'm curious what we're gonna end up seeing here, because we did see some changes from T1 last time they played this. They busted out the neon on this and the composition. Could work out, maybe not, or back to Fade.
I mean, after a 2-13, maybe they decide that it's not the way to go.
Yeah.
It's one of the maps that I, definitely between these two teams, it feels like more evened out. I think that Lotus, first of all, is a gorgeous map. Let's just see Lotus all the time. It's a map that I literally cannot get enough of, because every region has a bit of a different interpretation. I think that's why it's so interesting to see when we have a map with three sides, especially like Lotus, not so much. But if we are to see, especially the performance that we're seeing from X-Ray, why would you not put it on the chamber again, right? But if we talk about on the preparation side, if they have 2 compositions ready, this would be the perfect moment to go for the wild card. Because if G2 is so prepared for Lotus as they were for that Breeze, they will be prepared for the usage of the chamber. Also, something to mention, remember that we are in the patch where Viper has been nerfed, and I think that in that icebox we could see it, because Jonapi did not have that much versatility to counter what was going on. If he uses one snake, but it's gone.
Yeah, the age is very limited.
Gone. Like whatever you use is committed, and I think that was a very small showing, and we're going to see even more on Lotus.
Yeah, that was, you could see how the agent is now been really restricted from before, just being able to do so many things and contribute so much
styling.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's just not going to be the case here. And I think if you're T1 coming into this Lotus, despite the fact that G2, they have a pretty decent Lotus as well. I think T1's riding all this momentum. It's really going to be up to, the gentlemen you see on the screen there, the coaches, to get this team ready and in sorts as they get ready for this particular map. Because T1 now, they're riding this high, and momentum, as we've seen in Valorant, can really play a role. It plays a massive role in these series, especially at these global events. Because you have to think in the back of your mind, if you're Valen and this, that guard core, you're like, oh boy, it's happening again. Things are starting to crumble, and we're struggling here. They need to figure it out here and now.
I'm just scared that Seth and Clint are going to be right about their predictions, and it's going to be the composition